Hey everybody, this is Geneva of Geneva's Closet Talk Show. Please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at Geneva's Closet. And you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. Now, let's get into the news. Hey everybody, this is Geneva of Geneva's Closet Talk Show. Please make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to Geneva's Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at Geneva's Closet. And you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. Now, let's get into this interview. Hey everybody! Look, I was trying to say it all, just like how I do on my intros and stuff when I pre-record my videos. I was like, let me try to say it like that because I always say it a little differently. But how's everybody doing? How y'all doing? Happy Friday. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday. First of all, let me start off by saying that excuse if there is any audio issues today or anything else, people. Like, there's a lot that I'm going to have to be sitting up here maneuvering and doing for this interview with Miss Essie Berry. And I am talking about the widow of Fred Rerun Berry. Y'all know who Fred Rerun Berry is? Remember he was on the show What's Happening? Remember him? And do you also, and then look, there you go. There you go right there. Remember him? And my girl is she was married to him up until he passed away. And the funny thing is, I've been friends with her now for 4 years. Now we're going on 5 years. And we have never did this interview. Not a once have we ever took the time to talk about Mr. Fred Rerun Berry, their relationship, what transpired, what do she know about him and his family, because I haven't really heard too much about his family, his wives, the kids. Just give us the tea. But then again, who is Miss Berry? That's another thing that we want to know. Who is Miss Essie Berry? Now, we know that she is the widow of Fred Rerun Berry, and she also says that she's a civil rights activist. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because she be sitting up there talking about that she got a 100% winning rate. Well, we're going to ask her about this 100% winning rate. And then she says that she is a master cosmetologist. Well, what exactly has she master cosmetologist? You know what I mean? Let us ask her, because she's the only one that knows the answers to these things. So let me bring her in, the lovely and the beautiful and also talented and outspoken Miss Essie Berry. How you doing, Miss Berry? Wait a minute, let me unmute her. How you doing, girl?
Hey, beautiful, how are you? First of all, when you be giving my introduction, I'm like, who the hell is she talking about? But I love your introduction, and I love the music thing. Y'all hear that music, don't y'all? Y'all hear it, don't you, in the background? I want to thank everybody for coming on today with me and Geneva. I don't know how many parts we're going to do with this, but it's going to be a lot that you guys didn't know, some things that you may have known, but these are things that I know politically correct for myself. So I'm looking forward to like spreading the tea. And let me tell you something, I did get everybody a lot of questions. And if I can't answer them tonight, because we can get through this, I'll do a specific video just for that if we don't answer on these videos, okay? And I think that young lady right there is one of them. So I welcome everybody in the box. Let's go, beautiful.
Miss Berry, the first thing that I would like to know is, where are you born and raised, lady? Like, where you come from? Where does this lady come from?
I was born in Columbus, Georgia, pretty much raised there, half and half, but at like, I think about maybe 7, 9 years old, I went to Detroit, and I stayed up there to about maybe 12, 13 years old, and the rest of my time I did in Columbus, Georgia.
Do you have any siblings?
I do.
How many siblings?
I have an older sister. I have 2 brothers right up under me, and I have a baby sister, a younger sister. Unfortunately, she's mentally retarded. She's a ward of the state to a degree. I haven't seen her in about 30 years, but I do. It's like 5 of us all together. No, let me take that back. And I have one other sister. It's a long story. She's up in Detroit as well. She was one of the last children that my mother birthed that none of us got to meet. So it's actually 3 girls and 2 boys. So it's 2 younger sisters, 1 older sister, and 2 brothers up under me.
Okay, well, out of your siblings, how many of y'all did your mom and dad actually have together?
4.
And so I know you said that you don't have a relationship with your sister. Is that with your mom and dad?
Yes. Yes, with my youngest sister, I would have a relationship with her, but it was things that transpired when we were younger, when we were abused, and the doctors certified her as mentally retarded. I felt like sometime when I was around her, I knew she knew who I was, but because of so many things that transpired over the years, I have never seen my sister and my youngest sister after the abuse. I hadn't saw her. Not by choice, it's just what it was.
Okay, so what about your other siblings?
I have a half brother by my father. Me and him are very close. I have a brother that I somewhat grew up with because at the age of 12 years old, I really didn't see my father anymore. Me and my older sister, we grew up for quite a bit together. We were probably one of the closest siblings out of all of us at one time or another. A lot of people, when we were younger, we're 2 years apart, they thought we were twins, but we weren't.
Okay, so I mean, okay, so is your mom and dad still alive?
No, my mom died 2007, if I'm not mistaken, on Labor Day, and my dad is still alive. He's in Detroit. He's a minister. I'm a preacher's daughter. Believe it or not, what? I'm a preacher's daughter, a bishop.
Okay, so what was your relationship like with your parents?
Chicken deep. So let me see how I go. My mom and dad was together for what I know when I was 9 years old. I was in I was like with my mom and dad. So my mom at that time my relationship was okay. But somewhere along the line, my mother had a mental breakdown. When she had that mental breakdown, we were abused in Detroit, Michigan. We were considered one of the worst child abuse cases in Detroit, Michigan. My mother would cut our hair out with butcher knives, shoot at us with guns. She stabbed us, threw us downstairs. Whatever you could think imaginally that a person would do to you, it was done to us. And for that, at 9 years old, that's all I knew of my mother after that, the abuse. And with my father, I mean, I'm going to keep it real. I mean, I had a relationship, but I'm very outspoken. And like things to how he did things, I think they could have been done differently. No disrespect, he can go good whoever, but he was abusive to my mother. My mother loved this man so much that instead of beating his ass, she came and abused us, and we were considered one of the worst child abuse cases. I was 9, my older sister was 12, and then you guys do 2 years after that with my youngest brother and my youngest sister. My baby sister at one time, from what I remember, she talked. And after we got abused, it was like she went into this dark space and she didn't come out. And after that, we all were removed out of the home one by one. And I can't say, like, in that time, I felt like my oldest sister got it worse than any of us. But then when she was removed out of the home, then it was me. So really, to me, neither one of my parents ever really knew who I was. They just knew that I was their child and I was there for whatever reason.
Okay, so how did you get out of that situation? So how did you end up getting out of, what age did you get out of there, and how did you get up out of there?
Age 12, I remember me and my sister went to school one day, my older sister. We were beat up really bad. We hadn't took baths. Our hair wasn't combed. It was really bad. And they separated me and her, and we were trying to figure out what we were going to say. Next thing I knew, they took her one place, me another. By the time this when my mom abused us. I got home. Michelle didn't come home with me. They didn't know where she was at. They had already took her. And I ain't gonna lie, I was so glad. I was so grateful because I used to hate how my mom used to beat her. I wish I could have took it for her, but I was taking my own beatings. And she was angry. And one night she tied me to a balcony because she was so angry. And she strapped my hands to the top of the bed, my feet to the bottom, and she would beat us in the stomach with 2x4s. That's why I said I'm a PO at what I do, because I survived a lot. And I didn't think I could have children. And one day my dad heard her and he ran up the stairs, and I ain't gonna lie, he was finna choke her out. Then I was like, okay, do whatever, because I mean, I don't want to be abused anymore. And he sat at the top of the stairs with a gun to make sure that I slept that night. But then that morning he had to go to work. And when he went to work, she went outside in a white and red gown, no shoes on, real cold outside, snow on the grounds. I was there with my baby sister and my brother because my older sister had been taken. And somebody called the police on her. And my baby sister, my brother had 8. So when I was watching her out the window, because in Detroit, there's houses, but there's top floors. They got top and bottom, so you can always see. And I seen her, and I was hurrying to feed my sister peanut butter crackers. It was some raw fruit there. I was just trying, because they hadn't ate anything. I remember some soda in a bottle. And so by the time I was through feeding them, we were still waiting for her to come, but she never came. The police came, and they came into the house. They took her to jail. They took me and my siblings, and we all were separated. We were all separated in different locations. The first time we got abused by our mother. And my dad at the time, how child abuse is now, that what they holler about child abuse, they didn't consider that then at that point. So I had to wait, and the police took us out of the home, and we all went to different foster homes until we could go with a relative.
Oh, wow. So how long were you in the foster homes, and how did you get out of that or end up going to a relative's house? I mean, so what happened after that, basically? Wait a minute.
I didn't like any of the foster homes. One home, it was like these dudes took me and like what my dad couldn't come for some reason. I can't remember why, but like one time this lady had these kids and they were dudes, and they took me down and they locked me down into a basement, and I couldn't come out, and I hadn't ate for days. Nobody asked me what happened to me. I just had to live through that. And I set her house on fire. That's how I got the fuck up out of there. I set her house on fire because I didn't know what else to do. So when I see foster kids running and stuff, I know it's for a reason, because foster parents just doing that to get a check. They don't worry about the kids. And then when I got back to my dad, it was like, you can't raise children and you a single man. So he had to kind of get married. But I didn't care for his wives because they were fake too. I just had always been outspoken. So after we left the foster homes, he couldn't get custody of us right then. So much was going on. I didn't understand it legally at the time. So I went with my grandfather. My older sister went with my grandmother, and both of those on my father's side. My brother, my biological brother that we were raised with, not my half brother, my biological brother was raised with my father. And he took my sister that was mentally retarded and he stuck her in a home, and we couldn't see her.
Now, you said that you were always outspoken. Okay, so you didn't start off quiet at first, because sometimes a lot of people start off quiet and then they have endured things in their life that cause them to speak up and be outspoken. But you said that you were always outspoken.
Well, I knew I was outspoken, right? Because I just like to have fun. I just say what I feel. But when my mom abused me like she did, and I knew this Avon lady, she watched us getting beat like that. Like one time my mom took a bottle and threw it upside my sister's head because she caught us stealing food. Because we were stealing food. We hadn't ate for like a week, me and my older sister. She made us stand up in the window butt naked And I was like, damn, can people see us? This I'm wondering in my head, not speaking it out loud. And like she would cut our clothes off and then stuff us up in the window naked, and I didn't know why. Or like one, and it was all in Christmas time. So like going through that, and you're so violently brutalized by someone that gave you birth to you or someone close, it was like when I got away from that, I said I would never be silent again. I was always the happy-go-lucky, blow everything off, but I was straight to the point. I'm not a fake person. I always said what I feel. But you got to realize at 9 years old, 9 years old, I didn't even see my biological mother anymore. Here I am going into a path with my father, and then he's marrying women, and you just want me to call her mother because you marry her. But I know who my mother is. And my father didn't like any of those situations. So it was like really like hard for me to determine like which way do I go or how should I be. But so many people took my kindness or my quietness for a weakness. As I got older and I realized the abuse that I had went through, things would trigger out in my relationships, with friendships, with people, that I would not let someone's like just devour me or come to me or raise your hand to me, because that was always a sign of abuse. So when I was younger, I was pretty quiet. But when I hit 15, it was over with, because I had went to foster care, went to family members, been shipped all around the world. Didn't nobody want to be bothered with us as children. So I had to become my own person. I had to become who I am by myself.
Now I know that when a lot of kids are dealing with abuse, that it can kind of go two ways. They could either, like not really understand what's going on, but still love their, family, but mom, dad, or whatever that's abusing them, or hate them. So what did you make, like get from that? Like your feelings being so young, dealing with that. Did you hate your mom? Did you still love her? And then you said that you didn't see her anymore after you were 9 years old. So what did you think about that? Did you wonder where she was at? What was going on with your mom?
Keep it in 100. My mom caught my dad cheating. The lady that he cheated with, she played with snakes. I don't know what went on in my mom's mind after that, but she started seeing us as snakes. She would cut our ponytails off us because she saw us as snakes. I didn't even know what to think, because I watched a woman who loved everything about us, would dress us from head to toe, keep our hair braided, hooked up 24/7. And in an inkling, because of a man cheating, it was like we became the enemy, or she saw us, or she couldn't beat him, so she beat us. It was hard for me to understand how you could give birth to me and hurt my family and hurt my siblings like this. Like one day my mom said, I want you to stand up in the middle of the floor. I said, I gotta go use the bathroom, mama. She said, no, you can't use the bathroom. I said, please, it won't take but a minute. I said, I just gotta go pee. She said, I don't want you to pee. She said, I need you to pee in the middle of the floor. Ain't no pot there. Why I'm a pee in the middle of the floor? Next thing I know, she took a rifle and shot between my legs. Piss came running. I mean, it was automatic reaction, because I still, because I thought the next bullet would be me, not knowing that something like that was happening. Watching her throw ammonia in my brother's eyes, watching her put us at the top of the stairs and push us down the stairs, and we roll down the stairs like there's nothing wrong. And why she couldn't even tell us why this was happening. I felt like she was more angry at my father than she was angry with me. But what I had to realize too is that was still my mother. It didn't stop me from loving her. How do I stop someone from loving someone that gave me all who I am? But at the same time, I had a problem with trusting women. I don't like two-facedness. It was just a lot of things that I realized over the years of the abuse, what happened, that it affected me later, but I was able to deal with it with no therapy. Like when she would keep us out of water, we wouldn't take baths at weeks at a time. I take 20 baths a day. I love being clean. I guess that's OCD. I'm like treated for that now, as far as I am OCD, because like they trying to say you shouldn't take that many baths. I can't stop it, because you really don't realize when you abuse like that, those things that happen to you, you don't know why you're doing them, but as age go on, you do. And people handle abuse differently. I was angry with my father for cheating on my mother because of the abuse that she did with us. But like when we got took away from her, one day she called me. And she called my older sister. We was at my mom's house, my grandmother. I was named Essie after my father's mother because we looked alike, they said. And she talked. Everything she had did to me, from the abuse, from the beating, from the cutting my hair out, shooting at us with guns, dragging us to neighbors. She told me that on the phone. So I'm like you really crazy, right? But you remember this like it was yesterday. I called my mother out her name, and I was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong. But at that time, I'm just 12 years old, 13 years old, and you're calling me with this. So I cussed her out, and I didn't hear from her for years, 4 years, because it was done, because I just felt like, to remind me of the abuse that you tormented me with. You don't know what I went through in the process before I got to my grandmother's house. I was a young girl. I was a runaway on the streets. You know what I'm saying? I stayed on the streets almost 7 months on the streets of Detroit. A prostitute found me and took me home because when my dad got married, I didn't want to be in his world, because it was like, you wanted me to call someone mama. If it's not your mother, we have a hard time doing it, but parents don't care. That's your stepmama. That's who I'm with. You call her that. I couldn't, because I knew the truth. It didn't matter what my mother did. I just knew the truth. And I would have a problem with someone putting their hands on me, raising their hands at me, anything like that. That's a problem to me. So those things reflected who I am now as an individual and a woman. If I think I answered that pretty much.
Yes. Yes, you did, Miss Berry. You absolutely did. So what happened at 15 years old? Did you say that you did what at 15 years old?
Okay, so this is gonna be deep. I gotta go back. Okay, so you guys, when I got took away from my mother, my dad continued to try to get custody of us. But then he would marry, and one woman, I saw them physically fighting. That was abuse to me. And then he married a minister, so he became a minister. But no disrespect, ministers do shifty shit behind closed doors. You preaching in the gospel pulpit, but you beating on me with a belt, and I got black and blue marks all the way down me, up and down me. But I got to go sing in the church choir tomorrow. Is that what we doing? So my stepmom talked my dad into keeping me in a juvenile, because after we separated from my mom, 13, 14, something went on, and we were getting ready to get a beating, and a lot of it's in the books too, so to let you guys know, so I'm kind of giving you a synopsis. And I ran away because my stepmom told my older sister to go upstairs and get a pipe. So now you can't get no belt, you got to get a pipe to beat me with. In my mind, only thing I reflected is seeing that abuse that my mom did. My dad didn't even think about, they ain't been under therapy. We're not scared if she get beat, but I done beat by my mom. So you think I'm gonna let another woman beat me? So I ran away from home. I stayed on the streets of Detroit for over 7.5 months. A prostitute found me and took me home. She said, the only thing I want you to do, Essie, is keep my children for me and babysit. At that time, I didn't know what she did. I put 2 and 2 together later. And I love this lady from the day. Never saw her again after I left. Her name was Michelle. She had a son and a daughter. Her husband's name was Demetrius. So she would leave me there. Nobody knew where I was at. My dad was looking for me. And so one day dude came and he was drunk. But I ran away now because I didn't want to get beat with a pipe by my stepmother, which was a minister. And so her husband showed up. She wasn't there. So she wasn't there, and dude was getting drunk. And all of a sudden, I'm a virgin. Never been. The first man I slept with was the first man I married. And he started like putting his hands on me. He pinned me down. I was like, oh my God. So you mean to tell me, Lord, I've been on the streets for 7 months. You can let this man take my innocence? I couldn't even think straight. I got him up off me some kind of way, and I just took off running. I stopped by her sister's house, told her what his raggedy ass had did, trying to rape me at 14 years old, and trying to take me. And I ran and I hid. And when I hid, some police found me and they put me in a police car. Then it was like, we should just take her back in the jail and beat her ass. And I got 2 white cops in the front of the car. I'm a little 14-year-old black girl. And you talking about beating my ass on Detroit streets. So I took off running and I ran. They caught me. I went to a juvenile. I stayed in the juvenile. There was nothing wrong with me. How I am now is who you see now. My stepmother talked my father into putting me into a mental ward. And I was 12, 13 at the time, somewhere up in there 14. I'm not quite sure. And now, mind you, I've already been beaten by my stepmother before, by my dad before, by my mom before. So I have a conflict with people putting their hands on me. I would rather run, because if I put my hands on you, I already know I'm going to take your life. So no need of doing that. And I walked through this facility of a mental war place. The smell, I'll never forget it. The sounds, the cries, the screams. I'm 12, 13 years old, listening to all this going on within this time frame. And they left me there for another 7 months. So when I left the streets of Detroit, I went to a ward for 7 months. Didn't know why I was there. Saw people playing with their fingers, their toes, their hands. And yes, it's hard for me to talk about, but I lived it. So let's tell it. And shit, I didn't know, y'all. I was in a mental ward at 12, 13 years old. So doing all this in this process, I'm like, why am I here? Sitting for 7 months. I wanted to go home. I'm thinking I'm going to go home at Christmas. I didn't go home. My dad said, I don't want you there. My stepmom didn't want me there because I continued to run away because I didn't want to get beaten. And I don't know if y'all was seeing, y'all flew over the cuckoo nest. I went over that mug up in there. I jumped on tables, slaps. I went off. Like I was crazy. I went off, period. It took 8 men to hold me down. Now I'm a 12, 13-year-old girl, and you're going to got 8 men holding me down. They shot me with something that you called hell dog. Now, when you see those mental retarded, or you see people in those mental wards and they shooting them with all that medication, I'm telling you, that should make them look like that. When they shot me up with this stuff, and my dad never asked me what happened in his mental ward. Nobody ever asked me. They never cared. They shot me up with hell dog. The 8 men got up off me, pretty much couldn't breathe. When I shot me up with this hell dog, it really much calmed me down, but I was pissed because I wanted to go home. It was Christmas time. I stayed restrained to a bed for a week and a half. If you peed, they had to put the pot up under you. They didn't even barely wipe you. If you ate, one hand was released so you could sit up and eat. The other hand was still restrained to the bed. There was a nurse named Cheryl. When everybody would go off duty in this ward, Miss Cheryl would come and release me from that bed. She would let me get up. She would let me stretch. And I never forgot her. She was so beautiful. And I knew she'd see my face. She would know me. And this facility of this ward now, you guys in Detroit, it is closed. But after they restrained me for a week and a half, I never went off again for sure. But there was something about this medication. It would lock you. It would make you look deformed. My mouth would frown. And I know people going to laugh. It's funny now, but I'm just telling you because it wasn't funny then. My whole body would lock up like I was deformed. So my hand would jump up like this. My leg would jump up like this. And my mouth would frown like. And that's how that medicine, that shit took like a week and a half to get off me. I would sit in the window and I would just sing gospel songs. And I just asked God to get me out of it. One day my therapist came in. He said, I need to talk to you. He wanted to know why I went off like that, because this is who I am. I wanted to show them what a crazy person exists of. I wanted to show them at my age, I knew what was right and wrong, but you want to play me and slap me in somewhere because you didn't want your wife or my stepmom to bother with me. Hell, I didn't even know why I was in there. If you ain't gonna beat me with a pipe or hose pipes and shit, then I wouldn't have ran away from home. So I told the doctor, you lay on the couch and let me sit on the chair. 1 hour, I was out that mental ward when I told him how I felt, and it was a wrap.
Okay, now I'm trying to press these buttons. There's a lot going on over here with the buttons. Okay, so all right. I mean, so after dealing with all of that, because that's a lot. That is a lot that you had to endure, and then seeing how strong of a woman you are. Oh, I just have to hear about the different things that you know that you done did in your life. So how in the world did you be? So how did you become a cosmetologist? Like, where did that come in at? You wanted to do hair.
After I got abused by my mom, my dad sent me to his people, and all this shit, all this happened. I got out the mental ward, and I had lied about a curling iron one day, and they locked me up. My dad got mad, and they beat me really bad. They beat me with a hose pipe. They beat me with a hose pipe. They told my sister and my brother to go in there and jump on me. They wanted me to do that to my siblings. I wouldn't do that. My oldest sister and my brother stomped me like somebody in the street. They beat me with a hose pipe, and then they put me in a tub of hot water. The next day I had to go to church, and I had to sing like that, and my whole body was bruised. Everything was covered but here. When I got from church that Monday after school, I went to my psychiatrist, my therapist that they sent me to. When I got to my therapist, my clothes were off, and I was sitting on the couch just like this. I said, dude, this is like I'm crazy. I was messed up. My body was totally bruised from head to toe. They immediately, by the time I got to the house, my dad sent me. No, my dad didn't do it. The people sent me. The police was up and down my street. CPS, welfare, caseworkers, they locked the block down. They took me out the house. My bags were packed on the porch. My dad said, I'm done. I don't want to see you no more. I was good too, because I didn't want my ass whooped no more with no hose pipes or being beaten and y'all preaching in a pulpit, but then you beating our ass before Sunday morning church. I had a problem with all that. So I ended up going to Georgia with his mother, which was my grandmother, and Michelle went first. And I went after Michelle. And at that time, my dad was sending money. Everything was going cool. But then he wasn't sending what he was supposed to. My grandmama got mad. She didn't want to take care of some more. Michelle said, F it. She just went on about her business, which is my oldest sister, living her best life. But she was talking about putting me back in a juvenile. Been there, gone there, done that. Nobody asked me nothing. All what I'm telling you, me being on the streets, my sister don't even know this. What I'm telling all y'all today, nobody knows. This is my first time putting this out here like this. And my grandmama came to me and said, look, I can't keep taking care of you. It ain't right. I can't afford you. A couple of times my grandmother tried to sell me to old men. One time she tried to sell me to this old man, and I pretty much pulled his ding-a-ling out his socket. Don't take me there, because I'll go there with you. How dare you? So I was like, damn, I'm going to have to give my virginity up to an old bummed out cat for $50. I'll pass. I met my children's father in a project in Columbus, Georgia called Elizabeth Candy. We became friends. I read a biology book. I hadn't had sex. I probably would have never had sex if I had not went through what I went through. But I said I had to figure a way to get out my grandmother's house, because if not, they were going to put me back in a juvenile until I was 18 years of age. And why? Because you didn't want to be bothered, because you wanted money. What was it? So I read a biology book. I was cool with my kid's father. I was sweet on him. And he was the first man I made love to, got intimate. And both of my children are by him. I got married at 15 years old. What the hell did I know about marriage?
Wait a what? 15 years old? Did you say you got married at 15? Yeah, what in the Okay, and so when did you have so what ages were you when you had both of your sons?
They was 2 years apart, 15. And my sons are 34 and 36. I have a 34 and 36-year-old son. I was 15 when I think I had my own first son, going to 16. And then I had my other one 2 years later. So I was a teenage mother. And, you know, my son gets upset, but I read a biology book. I was cool with him. I got pregnant. He married me, and it's what it was.
So it happens, you know, because you said your son gets mad, I guess, when she tell that story. So how long were you two married?
We was married about 12 years. But my kid's father, name is Bernard. He was my first love. We were together almost 12 years, something like that. Maybe more or less. I can't do the mathematics. I was very close with his whole family. We became a family, the Jackson family out of Chi-Town, because someone asked me, did I get raised in Chi-Town? No, all my family members are from Chi-Town, from my son's side. I can consider them my bloodline. Vice lords, gang disciples, we there. You dig what I'm saying? I hold a stand on who they represent and where they from. I don't like perpetrate. It's a lot of gangsters in my family, good, bad, and different. I love them all because they all bleed the same blood. So basically, his family became my family, and we stayed together until he started cheating. And his father came to me one day and he said, if my kid's mother have been, their grandmother have been half of the woman you are, he said, then we would still be together today. He said, what you gonna do? Let my son keep cheating on you? He done cheated on you. You've been with him almost 12 years. What you gonna do? Make it 22? And then what happens? Then you still gonna be going through the same thing. He said, do what you need to do to give my grandkids a better life. From that, coming from my kid's grandfather, and that was his daddy, I went to cosmetology school, I think 17, 18. I became a master cosmetologist, and I'm a master cosmetologist for over 30 years. I can do any type of hair. I can do nails, toes, facials, makeup. I'm a beast at what I do. And when I do a hair show, what Genevas showing right now, I'm a fantasy chick. When I do hair shows, I make it come to life. I can put clock, robot, trophy, bird cages. There's nothing that I can't do with hair. That's me right there that you see on that picture. That on my head, that was a hair show that I got and I did. Every hair show I've ever entered into, I've won. I've never lost a hair show unless it was rigged. When I go to win. And in that time with me doing hair, I believe that those pictures, those hairstyles, it was an outlet for me. When I do hair shows, it became fantasy for me. It became a world that nobody could create, but I knew what I was doing, and I think that was a world and a way for an outlet for me, How you see those pictures up right there, that's how we went in there. We went in there with capes and hoods on. So when we come out, we give you a show. That right there, me dressed in that white, that outfit was sold and made by my godmother. I sew and make clothes as well. That hat is all hair. Everything you see, if you see any pictures of my stuff, I don't care what it looked like, that's hair on somebody's head. I don't think nobody can outrank me. And I done won Bonner Brothers shows too. Yes, sir. All those outfits, all those dudes, that's all me. 30 years of it, and I'm a beast at what I do. And I don't think nobody gonna call me out in no hair show. Those leather hats, all those brims Genevas showing right now, all that's me. All that's hair. That's me. I walk the walk when I talk it. There it is.
Okay, wait a minute, because I gotta say something. I got to say, y'all can't see my face right. Wait a minute, y'all can't see my face. But girl, guys, when Essie sent me these pictures, I was like, girl, that's you. Look at her right there with that hat that looked like the Chinese hat. First of all, that's all hair, because I know she's saying that's all hair. That's all hair.
Hair though. People thought that clock was on the wall. That clock is on her hair. That people saw that clock, that was on her head. That's me.
Wait a minute. Look at her. Look at the hair on top. Essie did the hair. Look at how look, girl. I'm telling you, all the sassiness. So now when we see her today talking about the she do hair, she's a master cosmetologist. Stop playing with her. Y'all gonna put some respect on my girl's name. Y'all gonna put some respect on her name. Look at this. She is really talented. Now, I know I done heard her say she did hair shows and stuff, but I really had not seen the pictures and stuff of it. But when she sent it, and I seen that she had orchestrated all of these things, okay, wait a minute. Like, look at this. Look at her legs and stuff. Looking all sexy. You better work, Ma. Look, I was looking at all of that. I was like, look at the thickness. And then even look at this. This just shows you that she more than a civil rights activist, boo. She's been more than that, boo. Anyway, okay, let me go back to Essie. Go ahead.
I love you. I love you. I love you. And this to me is a time my story can maybe motivate somebody else. That picture right there, I was flown to Detroit, Michigan to do a show, do a girl birthday. She wanted me to do the people as African. That's when I found my mother in 2005. I think I saw my mother for the first time 22 years later when y'all saw that dude. That dude right there, I won that too. That was that white hat is hair, and that's a church on top of that hat. That was the one, the African birthday party. That's what I had on. You can't see my nipples there. Girl, don't look too hard. Girl, you better cover that up. You see my nipples in there? Woo! That's me in that blue. That's hair on top of my head. And those were all my models. Anybody who modeled for me, y'all might can see that chick over there to the blue. I mean, in the white blonde hair. That's my older sister to the right. That was her. That's me and my sister sitting in that chair. All those hats are hair. Come on, y'all. Y'all ain't trying to rock with me. You ain't trying to rock with me. That shirt is hair, Geneva. That bustier, that's hair.
Okay, now who is he? Who is he? Who is he?
That's my cousin, Mark. He was a beautician in my shop. All those were my homegirls. That clock is on top of her head. That day on that particular hair show, some police stopped us and asked us what time it was. I was like, what? Girl, we was going to be late for the show. They escorted us to the show. That was on a military base, the one with the red hair. That guy y'all see right there, that was my second husband. That's my ex-second husband. That's two. That's braided hat. That comes off the head. That everything you see is my work.
Okay, so the next thing that I want to say is, okay, now let me take this down for a second, because because when I was going through the pictures, I had seen this picture. Now let me see what this looked like on the screen. Okay, I had seen this picture, and it was this picture that I was looking at, because you said this is your sister. I was like, is that Michelle? I was, oh, hell. And Essie, you look like a little kid in this picture. And then now that you say that this is your second husband, I'm like, oh, okay. Girl, you look like a little baby. And then your sister, because I never seen your sister young, of course, before. So I was like, okay, wait a minute. So Michelle was in. Look, girl, so let me just talk and say this, because when I unmute, then I can't say nothing else, because I got to let you do your thing. So when I seen this, I was like, so what? Michelle was doing the hair shows and stuff with Essie? Okay, so not only that one, wait a minute, I'm not done. Let me pop up this other one right quick so then Essie can say what she got to say. And then Essie said this was her sister. There she go on the end with the blonde hair. That is Essie's sister. And then there go Essie with the blue with the cowboy hat that she already said this is hair. And then I am very intrigued by this also, because I'm like, okay, so it's one thing to go to cosmetology school and learn how to do hair. It's a whole other thing to be putting on hair shows and doing these huge productions and stuff. So you're going to have to give us, lady, some information right quick about all of this. So go.
What I don't know what information, like that particular show, we did it to Montel Jordan. This is how we do it. That's what that show was. I remember, because I helped make some of the clothes. I could put a suit together in 24 hours sewing, you guys. I got a sewing machine, but I don't like to cut the pattern out. Every hair show that I have entered, I've never lost a hair show. I just like fantasy. Everybody that you see, those were regular models. A master cosmetologist out of Georgia can do hair, toes, nails, facials. We're masters at what we do. So if you go to another state, the only thing you would have to do is reciprocity. I had my sister a couple of times working in shops with me. I think it was hereditary for both of us, because she braids as well, but she didn't go to school for a cosmetologist, and I did. I just did that to hold a credential up under my belt. So if I decided I want to do anything else with hair, and these are just some of the ones that GENEVA'S saw. I got people with bird cages, trophy, robots. I'm a beast at what I do. And the why I cover you up, that suit was made by me and my godmother. That hat, all that's hair. I just like different. I'm unique. I like something that's going to express. And if I go to a hair show, I don't want to see what I walk on the street to see. We see this on the street. You know what I'm saying? I want to see something that's going to be moving. I even got pictures with a young lady with a champagne fountain on top of her head. and it ran real champagne. We did the glasses and everything. My photographer built me a battery pack, and I was able to plug it in, and the champagne was on top of her head, and all of it was hair. I'm after we met Geneva, got to put one together, Geneva. What we waiting for? She just keep throwing that picture up there with my damn legs.
Girl, look, that's one of my best. Because I was like, she looks so cute on there. I was like, go, girl, you better work. Okay, so was you doing hair when you was with your kids' father, or, okay, let me say this. Were you doing hair in your first marriage or no in your second marriage? So what was your second husband, he doing, I mean, like, was he a model or something? Or what was he doing? Or just supporting you?
When my kid's grandfather told me about me being cheated on and I need to do something, that's when I became a cosmetologist. So I was actually a cosmetologist with my first husband, but then for some reason, no disrespect to him because I love him to death, we still friends, but it's about Black men. When you get a career or you get something and you start doing your own thing, but you still include them, they feel like you think they're more than what they are. And we used to have that battle. So that was some of the reasons, besides him being a cheater, that we separated. But he's a good guy. But we both were still young. My second husband, he was like a brick mason. I think I was with him maybe 8-9 years. I'm not quite sure. He didn't want to do those hair shows. I'm just telling you now. He didn't like the braids, but the girl, after I put them braids in homeboy hair, he thought he was a Casanova. Let's swing and get the women. He got too careless with that, my second husband, because I put him up and he going to shows, people knowing him in shows. Now he think he's a Casanova. He want to hang out at titty bars and stuff. Oh, okay. Is that what we doing now? So with my second husband, why I separated with him, one, I'm already schooled by the first husband. Two, y'all already heard how I grew up. So three, you can't really put anything over on me. And one night, we had just got through with a show, so he was going to go out a couple nights later. He don't tell me that 2 cops pulled him over on the side of the road and gave him a DUI. I thought he was lying. What y'all brothers better realize, don't tell the lie when you get to the front of the door. Make sure you got your lie 2 steps back, because we're going to have ours 2 weeks before we get to whoever y'all talking about. The next morning, I called up the police station. I asked him about dude. He lied. So what I did, it was a Sunday. I go to church. I come back home. I told dude, I say, look, before I left, I said, we got to go up there and identify the cops who put you, did you, and disrespected you, violated your rights. He was lying. He couldn't do it. By the time I got home from church, he had all my shit packed on 2 trucks, and he had moved me out my house. That was the end of him, and that was the end of any hair shows that I did with him. But at the end of the day, I was pissed. He had all my shit, put it on 2 trucks, but I was laughing all the way, because I was like, God, I need to get up out of here, but I'm a faithful wife. How do I walk? I didn't even have to walk. He couldn't cover his lie, and because he couldn't cover his lie, he put my stuff on 2 trucks, and we were in the middle of building a home. We had bought a place, but we were in the middle of building a home on an acre of land, and he did that shit and moved me out my house. And so after that, I didn't do no more hair shows with my second husband. I didn't want to deal with him. He kept trying to get me back. It was a wrap for me, period. Later on, I divorced him. I left him with everything. I ain't materialistic. I don't have to have shit. I can walk away and redo what I do. I'm that queen in the game. But then he married a white woman. There you go. My house was a huge house. Every room was like a 17 by 20 in the room, including the bathrooms, the closets, every room. They built it. My second husband had 9 brothers, so it was a lot of them. And when they got through with it, we got divorced, whatever. Make a long story short, he got in some kind of trouble. The girl was trying to sell my house. My name was still on the deed. Dude came to me and said, Essie, would you please sign? She's going to try to take my house. Dude, I ain't got to sign shit because the house in my name. What you talking about? You went and got this girl. That's why y'all brothers mess up. It don't matter what color. I'm just saying in general, he happened to pick her and thought he was going to give her my house. And I left it with you. When he signed it over to me, about 6 months, 8 months, a year later, I don't know, something came up. A judge from Georgia called me and say, yo, Essie, I'm going to put your husband in jail if you don't give him back the house and sign over. I told him I'm not doing shit, and you ain't going to do shit from Alabama. I'm going to take my house. I sold it, and I left his ass in jail because they tried to say he did fraud. So he took my house, and 4 years later, I came back and sold it. That's the beast that I am, and left him in jail.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Come on, it got to happen sometimes. It got to happen. So, wait a minute. What she said?
I just said he had never had anything, my second husband. And when I started doing shows and women started noticing him, he got like your braids were hanging too long. Your hair was way up here, but your shit went down your back. Now you thought you was too cute. You want to sit up here and swing in coochie bars. Okay, then just be truthful and say that. Don't bring your ass home lying, because then you lost a good wife. And before we go any further, for my next question, let me put it out here. However many times that we finna find out I've been married, there has never been a man that walked away from me. I've always divorced. Ain't nobody ever signed no divorce papers. I put them papers on that table. Point blank, period.
Alrighty then. Basically, she said that, Miss Berry. That's how she, that's how she feels on that one. And so did y'all have any children together?
No.
Children, no childrenos. So that means so far Essie has been married. Now, where we're at in this story, she's been married a total of two times, and she has two sons by the first husband. Second husband, they was together 8-9 years, something like that. They ain't got no kids or whatnot. She was doing her man cheating, feeling herself a little bit, because he was up in that mod and whatnot, whatever. Okay, so where did Fred come in at? Fred Rerun Berry. So, so how did y'all meet? Come on now.
Okay, gotta count. I'm getting about Liz Taylor. Okay, so we done wind up further. I done separated from him. He done moved me out my house. I'm living in my shop now. I had a beauty salon in a house. I reconverted the beauty salon, the front half, the beauty shop. I put my babies in the back with a TV, with a stove, with a refrigerator. I would go back there and cook, hook them up, come back up and do hair. So by this time, I'm already doing my own thing with hair. Was I kicking it, dating a few people here and there? Just like, I don't even say dating. I knew people, but I wasn't sleeping with anybody. I was cool with this one guy, and something came up that this broad walked up on me when I was trying to get sweet on him. That's what you don't want to do. You better have your broad in check. If you finna deal with me, you try to do some slide slick shit, because I'll get your broad too, and then I'm coming for you. And this dude, I just found him to be a liar. Next thing I know, I separated myself, and here go Rerun showing up in the mix. My girlfriend Jamisa called me. She said, yo, Rerun finna be at the Civic Center, something like that. I said, what? I said, well, who are you talking about, Rerun? She said, Fred Berry from What's Happening. I said, okay. I said, what's happening? She said, I'm going to go up there. I said, okay, so call me, tell me how it went. She would not let me stop and not go up there. So I took a shower, got dressed and everything, because he was in Columbus, Georgia, to promote a movie about his life story. And the movie about his life story was called Testify, talking about how he became a locker, the dance group, things he had went through his mom. It was a beautiful story. And he got documents. Before he passed away, a lot of the documents that he taught, I'm telling you about, he left them for me to tell his truth for him. So we went to the Civic Center where he was at, and they were talking, and then after everything was over, he was telling people what he wanted to do, because instead of somebody producing it for him, he wanted to raise the money and produce it for himself, because so many things had transpired. So by this time, my girl was like, go tell him you do hair. I took my book up there, I showed him I did hair, and he was in awe. That was it. All them women did, but that was it. And I don't know why he was attracted. It was just different. After that night, he was stuck with me, or I was stuck with him. I don't really know. So we went to there, and that's how we met, as far as how we got connected. I didn't know if you want to ask me a question before I go further, or can I keep going?
Keep going.
Okay. So now I got him at the Civic Center. and we traveling, we doing things. I'm hooking him up with the Chamber of Commerce in Georgia, letting him meet people. And by this time, he's trying to raise money for his show. So I said, why not put a hair show together? So he's loving this idea. Girl, won't he do it? That's me, y'all. That's my stuff. I love the African. That was one of the shows. So then when he saw my hair stuff, he was like, yeah. So we did eventually put a hair show on. But before then, before we could even get to that part and we started traveling, I didn't let Fred stay with me right off. I didn't. He stayed at a hotel. I think it was called Howard Johnson. Now, even though Fred, girl, is that me? Whoa, girl. He stayed at Howard Johnson because we were going back and forth. So one day he getting ready to go out of town. And y'all, he was a clown though. He had a good big personality about himself. And dude turned around and ordered every damn thing on the menu and had it up in a room and didn't pay for it. He wasn't gonna pay for it. So by this time, he calling me, telling me the police finna arrest him. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I had to get dressed, go to the hotel. Luckily, when I got there, the police were there, and I knew the cops that were there. So I made it right with the tab and everything, but I had to make it right because he was, girl, you doing some serious picture shopping now. He was on his way to the Jenny Jones show. This is going to air later, but there's actually footage of Fred proposing to me on the Jenny Jones show. But he's going to call me EJ because at that time when he met me, my name was Essie Jackson because I was still had my kid's father last name because they're Jacksons. And so I'm sitting at home and watching the Jenny Jones. We getting ready to get married. And I saw him do that on a Jenny Jones. I just couldn't believe it, you know. And after that, we did a hair show. Did we get married first or the hair show? No, we did. We went and got married. We married on my birthday. October the 22nd, 1999. Okay. After we married, a little bit after that, I think in November is when we did the hair show, either November or December. Right after that hair show in 1999, after that hair show, we left and came to California.
Wow. Look. Okay, so he proposed to you on the Jenny Jones show, because I remember you saying that, because I would so love to see that clip. I would love to see that.
It's on VHS. It's on a video, you know, like the VHS tape. So I got to take that and get it transferred to a CD. But how I got the video was after Fred died, I had told Jenny Jones and I called the casting and they sent me a complimentary video and I kept it all this time.
Now I'm going to ask you some specific questions. So how old were you two when you got married, you and Fred?
I don't know, but I know we was 14 years apart.
Oh my God, all this muting back and forth, and I gotta remember. Cause I remember that you were kind of young and he was a little bit older. So he was born in what year and then died in what year?
He was born 51, died in 2003. I married him in 99 and I was born in 1969. I ain't good with math. Y'all tell me. And I think we had a 14-year difference. I like older men, period.
I think you were about 30 and he was 43, 44, something like that. Yeah. My other question for you is, did y'all have any children together?
No. Somebody asked that on the question, so this will eliminate that question. Me and Fred Berry never had kids together, but his daughter Portia, she came and I paid and sent for her because at one time Fred had this discrepancy between his children. Some people said he was like deadbeat. Some people say he wasn't taking care of his children, whatever the case may be. I had a relationship with his daughter. You got to realize for every kid, there's a parent, there's a mother, and the mothers didn't like me. So I'm not going to simply play no games with somebody else's ex because you don't like me. But I made sure that Fred had a relationship with all his children. I tried to anyway.
Okay, so what about Fred did you like? Did you think he was fine when you seen him? You was like, oh my God, he's so sexy. I love his personality. He's funny. I mean, so what attracted you to him? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to know that. Did you think he was fine and sexy? And what attracted you to him?
Ah, she ain't got it. So the way she said, did you think he was fine and sexy? Listen. Y'all think he fine and sexy? I love his personality. He was a good guy. Let me see how Fred did this. Okay, so I had already been around him. I'm an outgoing person anyway. I told you guys how we met. So we sat on the porch one night. I'm just tripping because I had to go get him after he came back from the Jenny Jones because no hotel was going to deal with him anymore because of what he did with the food. We sat on the porch one night. Homeboy said, listen, you ain't married. I ain't married. We both just out here single in the world. Hell, let's just get married and take it by storm. I'm looking at him like, what? Like, what? I'm like, what? He said, I'm for real. I said, what? He said, you ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. And he was like a big fish in Georgia in a little pond, and I'm like, okay. And damn, y'all, I don't know. I just said, damn, yeah. I don't know why I just said, yeah. I really thought this dude was joking, but he wasn't joking. And when I seen the Jenny Jones thing, I knew he wasn't joking. So I really thought he was joking. And I married him.
Hey. So how was the marriage? So what did you think about him when you married him?
Okay. Uh-oh. Okay. Now, I never thought I would marry a celebrity at all. That's one. Never would I. No, I wasn't starstruck. It was like, damn, this dude was on TV and I knew him. I watched him. I was kind of like, wow. But then I saw certain things about him. But then Fred was sickly. And I had talked to his doctor one day, and his doctor said his health has been better than it ever has been before since he's been with me. I was like, wow, is that because he's in the South and we giving him herbs and stuff? Or why is that? But then it seemed like Fred was a big fish in a little pond, and it was like it was stuck for a minute because there was a lot of jealousy going on too. So let me see. I'm gonna say this. In Georgia, before I left Georgia, he was a sweet guy. Period. We were more friends, than anything, and we became grew to more. But when we left Georgia, I sold everything I owned, and we did a hair show to get the money to come to California. I bought a convertible. We drove from Georgia to California. But it was when I got to California that I just seen different in him. I seen in the beginning it was okay because we had came back to California because HBO had talked to him about doing a deal about his life story. Something triggered him wrong, and we went to this meeting. Like he was telling me how to school me, what to do, how to do. I was like, okay, all right, we finna do this. But then when I got in the room and I was bubbling brown sugar, then he got mad because these guys, they was Caucasian men, but they were on me. We were talking. You said work the room. Okay, whatever. But they weren't like being negative, but I worked what you said. And then he was upset about that. And then as we started living together, I saw more things about him. Like Hayward Nelson would ask me, like, how did you meet him? Do you really know who he was? And then I started seeing other things because he had a violent side to him too that I didn't know about. And people got to realize when you married to a celebrity, yeah, we're going to love them because we see them on TV. But there's some ruthless sides to celebrities. They have their own dark path that they went through. And sometimes it will reflect back on you. And sometimes I felt like that happened with me and Fred. When he was good, he was good. When he was mad, he was mad. When he didn't like something, he didn't like it. Like, I'm a normal person. I don't give a fuck how much money I get, what I get. We had a restaurant one day, and we in the back of the line. When he had that beret on, people knew who he was. But when he got older, people quite didn't know if he didn't have a beret on, unless you really look at him. So he stuck his beret on, and all of a sudden, oh my God, rerun. And then he wanted to go to the front of the line. And then he started talking crazy to me. That ain't what you gonna do to me. And so I got up on this big thing, and I started talking smack because he was loud talking to me. I was like, is this what we doing? And so then the people came and got Fred. He said, I'm going on in the restaurant. I stayed in the back of the line. I don't think because you rerun and all these people been sitting here waiting to eat that we got the right to go before these people. That's the kind of shit he didn't like. That's the kind of stuff that celebrities do. That's the kind of thing that I wasn't going to do. She said how it was when we was married. We went to a barbecue one day. I'm country. I know about barbecue. A lot of people is there, black, white, different races. But they was like taking the barbecue and not like eating with their hands. They had damn forks. I was like, what kind of mess is this? So I'm sitting back looking. I was like, okay, let me see how long these folks gonna scuffle with them barbecue bones. Okay. So then I said, I need to go to the car. And I was looking cute. I went and got a t-shirt, a napkin, stuffed out in my shirt, right? And I went and got the barbecue. And I got pissed because he was trying to tell somebody how to eat, right? And all these folks, y'all, they ain't even getting the meat because, like, you ain't holding the bone. So I go in, I got rib and got it all on my shirt. He was mad. I didn't give a damn. Don't sit up here and play like we finna be cute about eating some ribs. Y'all eat them ribs that way. I'm from the South. I'm finna go eat this, wipe my mouth, and go on to the next thing. So it's like certain places you go, you got to act a certain way. Or if you don't, you ain't in that circle. Like one night we went to a dinner. And there was a lot of people at the table. It was cool. But they got 1,000 silverware. Everywhere you go, silverware, whatever. So I'm waiting. Everybody talking. I'm like, okay, how long is it going to take these folks to eat? What's silverware y'all going to do? This long, this short one. I'm looking. And they still talking. And I'm hungry. I just took that silverware, moved what I wasn't going to use. And I started grubbing. Fred got mad. But what you get mad for? I didn't even know what he got mad for. Other people did the same thing. We waiting to eat, y'all talking. We got to pick what silverware from the South. Y'all can play that if y'all want to. Go get 20 silverware and go eat that shit in the kitchen like that. Let's see what your grandmama gonna do. Yeah, okay. So it was certain things that he was showing me, which I learned. But I just said, like, I'm not going to sit up here and be in the world and procrastinate because if you're famous or you're this, then I'm not going to be who I'm going to be. He had funny ways about him, real charismatic, but he had ugly ways about him. Like one day, me and him had got into a controversy. I got pissed because I was tired of the bull crap. Believe it or not, it's happened. It's on paperwork, but don't make this let you look at him anywhere differently. That will be your choice. I don't know what happened, but I felt like I didn't belong in California. I still feel like I don't belong because it's just like it's like overpopulated and it's just like it's overrated. So I had told him I was going to go back to Georgia because I got tired. I just didn't want to play no more. It was just a lot of stuff going back and forth. Me and him going back and forth. But he had good things about himself. Before I tell you about this bad thing, let me go back a little bit. There was like different things as characteristics that Fred would play because he was a comedian. And one day I heard this lady say, tamale, tamale. I've never had a tamale, never ate one. But when I got to California, I got my first tamale because Fred would like watch people outside and then he would sit in the house and he would become these people. And one day I heard this lady say, tamale, tamale. I said, hell, let me go get me a tamale. Let me go see. But it sounded like that lady was like right next in the next room. I get up to go get the tamale and it was Fred and a big ass sombrero, his little chest out. The things, you know what I'm saying? And he had an apron on. And he was like, tamale, tamale. That was the first time I ever ate a tamale. And I thought it was funny because I like being married to a comedian. Comedians can change their voices. They can sound like a lot of people. He became that tamale woman. And that was surprising to me. You got before I go?
Wait a minute. So did y'all ever go out dancing, girl? Did you see him dancing? Was he getting it? What about the pop lockers? Did you meet the pop lockers? Come on, right. We want to
Okay. Okay. One day we went out. He got a song. You know, I sent you the song. It was called I Got the Urge to Get My Groove On. But we went to this club when we had first met in Georgia. So we get to Georgia and we in this club. I forgot what club it was. Now they didn't know me and Rerun married. We weren't even married time. We just going out. I'm showing the places. So I said, come on, let's go to this club. So at this time we just kicking it around town. We pull up in the limousine and shit. We get out the club. I've seen him trying to make and Mac the club, got his little, you know, thing on, his beret. And these two bras, young chicks. Oh, that's my, yeah, that's an old brother. You know he old. That's Rerun. He can't do that. And I said, is that right? I said, Fred, come here. I said, these bras over here trying to like slay you and saying you ain't the same Mac. You can't do that. He said, really? So he went and put that song on. I Got the Urge to Get My Groove On. That song, Geneva. And so the song started playing, right? And these girls were talking shit. Fred came over and he was like he was challenged, like, come on. Dude got on that flow. Player locked it down. Them girls came in like this, like, y'all ain't tired, is you? Y'all ain't tired? And then later on, they saw me with Fred. So they knew I heard what they said, and they knew I had told Fred, and we was jamming the rest of the night on the floor. So, but you know what? I ain't trying to be funny. I can dance. But this brother, like, he go a whole nother level with it, doing the splits and all his stuff, not slow mocha. He carried the floor. Even though he got a partner, he don't give a damn. He's going to carry that flow. Y'all seen him? He was like that in real life. No problem. He was like that. He was.
So did you ever meet the Lockers?
I met Don. I met Don Jr. I met Slim, the robot. Shabadoo. I think y'all remember Girl, Shabadoo, do. Y'all know Shabadoo. They're very good guy, very sexy guy, sweet as hell, and smells so good. I'm just saying, smells so good. I got to meet them all. I heard some of their stories. A lot of the stories I heard from Fred. There was another locker. I think y'all met the white girl, Tony Basil. Hey, Mickey, you so fine. I met all of them, pretty much the ones that were still alive and still living. Yeah.
So was Fred broke and on drugs when you met him?
Damn, she just cut to the throat. Like, was he broke? Yes, he was broke. Yes, he was broke. I have to be honest with you. When I met Fred, he came to Georgia with $100 in his pocket and a plane ticket. Everything that was given to him was given to him on credit, because, you know what I'm saying, they do that because you're a celebrity. That's why he had to end up coming to stay with me after that happened. I found, no disrespect, I found richer things and richer, like, money. He was more richer dead than he was when he was alive, because so many things had transpired through his career. But he knew I was a master cosmetologist, so I was still making money. I had 2 salons. And I had one at my house.
Okay, so what did he say happened to his career?
He got drugged up. He was a millionaire twice. This is what he told me, and this is some paperwork. But he said the first time, you know, he wasn't used to it. He a heavy set dude. People always like making fun of him. When he got money, he got fame, he could buy pretty much any woman he want. They didn't care what he looked like, what size. So basically they wanted him for his fame and who he was. With him, like, doing drugs at that time, because he never did drugs with me. 2 times he said he did that. The first time, I think somewhere with his wife Francesca. Me and her are pretty cool. Haven't heard from a minute, but I could call her and she would pick up the phone. She was a professor. Y'all might have seen her on one of the What's Happening shows, because she was a dancer with him. I think through the years, so much hardship came upon Fred that he used drugs to get rid of some of his emotional baggage. Like, to be that young, they all were teenagers, to be that young and have that type of fame and fortune at time, you know, it'll swallow you up. And I saw that. I saw what it almost did to me, just like being in Hollywood or around people. So I could imagine if you're a millionaire and you got to have this per se image, you got to always look a certain way. You always got to be a certain way. You can't be yourself anymore because everyone knows your face. And when he lost that twice, I mean, like one time he told me the first time it was a loan shark, and he had gave away so much money that the loan shark came and collected, and they sent his ass packing. I think they took the house, the car, and everything. I think they say he walked away with just a scooter or like a horse or something like that, and he just walked away. I mean, they took his stuff because he was too busy like doing drugs, and that made a conflict with him being a father and a husband as well.
Okay. So what did he ever say anything about the his cast members on what's happening? Because yes, he was on Soul Train too. Yes, we definitely seen him dancing on Soul Train. But what's happening? What did he say about his cast members? You know, because you told me some stories about the cast members that I found to be really. Cause I don't know about y'all if y'all seen what's happening on Unsung. Cause I did see that. I did see what's happening on Unsung. Cause I'm a huge What's Happening fan. And as a matter of fact, I was trying to figure out why they didn't do an unsung of just Fred Rerun Berry, period. But come to find out, you know, they probably couldn't Miss Berry because they probably scared of Miss Berry. That's probably why they ain't tried to do one of him on. But anyway, if y'all seen that, they only gave a little bit of the information in comparison to the information that Essie have and what she said Fred told her about some of the cast members, how they passed away and blah, 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 blah. Essie gonna tell you. Okay, go ahead, Essie.
Okay. Unless it's a lie and somebody go come review it, then let me hit a lie because you can't take back what Fred told me. Mabel King. Mabel King was the mother. Mabel King was supposed had asked for a home in Hollywood at that time when she was on the show. When you guys saw her got rolled off the show, she just asked for a house. Somebody said that, well, Fred said that they didn't give her her house. They wrote her out the show. Several years later, she ended up in a nursing home. One of her legs got amputated. Somebody came in the convalescent home, checked Mabel King out the lesson. Checked Miss Mabel King out of the convalescent home. 2 weeks later, they found her dead. Unless somebody knows something different, then you let me know. But that's what I was told. Shirley died November '99. Me and Fred was together. He took that really hard. He took that really, really hard because him and Shirley was close, and he would communicate with her a lot. I don't want to tell her personal business, but at the end, Shirley was sick because I know y'all saw how her face changed. Hayward, he was a good guy. I think I had some pictures with Hayward. We went on through a few functions together. Well, one or two. Was Ernie there? I'm not quite sure. I don't think Ernest was there. He may have been, but we didn't cross paths like that. What people don't know, back in the day when What's Happening was airing, all these people that are Black people from What's Happening, from Good Times, from the Jeffersons, a Black man named Eric Monty and Cooley High, he wrote all those. Okay. Fred was supposed to be a white skinny boy, and he showed up for the casting of What's Happening. 2 weeks later, after casting, they called him back and he became Rerun. They gave him a name. He gave them a character. But back in the 70s, Black actors were making $5,000 an episode, where white actors were making $8,000 an episode. After the first two castings, and they went on and they saw What's Happening was going to be a big, huge success. Like, I'm not taking any credit from any of the cast, but we know what the deal was. It was Rerun, it was Shirley, and it was Dee, but all of them kind of blended together like tea. And they didn't want to give it to him. But Fred, now, please don't nobody come back and get nobody on this mic to come and test this, because we're going to be battling. But Fred took all the cast members. All of them went and asked for more money. By the time Fred asked for more money, he looked like he was crazy. He looked like he was being like he was being like what like a problem, as I would say, because he was asking more. When they went, everybody agreed, yeah, we're gonna get paid the same thing. When he got there, everybody shut up. He the only one stood up, and then that's why after that they wrote him out, and it went to what's happening too, because there was other things that what's happening now. There was other things that, and this in court documents, not what I say, is what I can prove, but there were other things that they had promised him because they had went into syndication. But then when it went into syndication, it didn't go quite like he wanted. And I'm not gonna lie too, I probably think that Fred may have been a little bit of a problem, because some of the documents I read, some of the things I seen, he is very, very outspoken. He didn't care. He was bold with what he say. If he didn't like something, he would say it. So that's just who he was. So I think, like a lot of people try to say he was a hothead. No, he was just trying to make a difference for all the people that was on what's happening. He wanted more money, and everybody was scared to ask for more money.
Wow. So I think my next question is, how did he pass away?
Okay, that's how we gonna roll. I 100%, I can't say 100%. This is what I do know. Because I'm gonna have to back y'all up a little bit to know how we got here. Even though me and Fred was together and he had good things about him, you may not believe it. It is on a police report, but it happened. So we be like, oh my God. Okay. So one day I told Fred that I want to leave and I want to go back. Why I told him I want to go back to Georgia, because he had brought me out to California. I felt like it was coming from the dogs to the wolves, period. I felt like everybody had a personal motive. Everybody wanted something. They wanted something out of you. I didn't like it. I didn't, because I was too straightforward for a lot of these people out here, and they felt like I had an attitude. No, I'm just direct and I'm not going to hear that bullet crap. So I don't know what happened. All I know is he was like, okay. Next thing I know, I go back to the room, finna go outside. Fred to put his damn beret on his head. He took a hammer, put it in his back pocket, walked down some stairs. So we had a little penthouse, real nice place. And he started breaking my damn windows out my convertible. He broke all my headlights. He broke my windows. He broke all my damn windows out my car so I couldn't leave. That's how bad he didn't want me to leave. And why I was going to leave is because Fred was married 6 times. 2 of the women he married twice. These other women have brutal stories too. I didn't even know he was an abusive person. So this old lady that was from the South, she said, Essie, I want you to come hear something. Where we were at, they had this garage and he would sell old antiques. She made me hide behind this stand. When I hid behind that stand, I heard dude say he brought me out to California to pimp me and I was a moneymaker.
Wait. Now, who said that? Are you saying Fred said that he brought you out there to pimp you and to be his moneymaker?
Now, you know, as big as my damn mouth is, I'm sitting behind there listening to him tell that old man that it took everything in me not to jump up and go just jack his ass. So that's when I told him I was leaving. And that's when he took his butt outside and broke all my windows out my car. He didn't even know why I told him that. He didn't even know I had heard it. But by the time he did that, I was already down the stairs with a baseball bat. The police came. 8 guys picked me up. And I was finna get Fred. I'm straight telling you, want to play that shit? Okay. Because we out here in Cali. Because what it is, y'all, what I didn't know, like he could go tear up my whole car. Because it was a state of California and they was community property, they said, oh shit, we can't do about that. He can go break it again. I was like, damn, okay. So now what I'm going to do? You know, took me from my hometown. You brought me out here because you saw I was a moneymaker. You said you loved me. I thought you loved me. Maybe you didn't. It was a biz deal. I didn't know. But when I heard that, everything in me changed. I didn't even look at him the same no more. But then when I had heard from the other wives, then I know why. One of his wives, he broke her hand with a hammer. One of his wives, he beat her with a baseball bat and concussion. It ain't what I say, it's what I can prove. But that's those stories. That's their stories to tell. It's not mine. And so when we was getting ready to do the show, those are things that was going to be on the show. So people would hear what we as women go through when we're married to celebrities. I had never went through nothing like that before. And what happened was he got mad that I told him I wanted to leave. And Fred walked up to me, looked me dead in my eyes, and said, you know what? I dream I shot your chest out with a double barrel shotgun in your sleep. I was like, damn, what? I gave him a kiss on his jaw. Okay, baby. And I walked off. I walked off. I think Fred was angry because he said every time he was with someone, they would always leave. No, it wasn't that they would always leave. You had situations and issues. What you say, Geneva?
I'm over here like that sound like Ike and stuff when you said when you said that he said that women always leave him. I'm like that sounds a little bit like a Ike. And then I'm sitting up here thinking, what in the world made him feel like that he could pimp you? I mean, so is this something? Had he pimped his other wives? Did he have a reputation for pimping women? Like, what made him feel like he could bring you out there and pimp you? And then was it something with you doing your hair shows that he was like, well, she get money, so I mean, like, girl, what the hell?
So he had been married 6 times. I was the last wife. 2 of the wives he married twice. I don't know about their talent, but if you go back and y'all look at what's happening, you see this chick with a dance. She was in a club dancing. That was Rerun's first wife. The second wife, she was a nurse or something. I'm not sure what Carol was. The third wife was a nurse. But from what they told me, every woman that every wife, see all these cheaters get mixed up. Every woman that Fred would marry, he would marry them. Then he would go back to the state where he married them, and then that's where he would divorce them and go take their stuff. 2 of the wives, they say he tried that. He couldn't do that with me. So it won't come out later. Somebody saying something. When me and Fred got out, because he was about money, but I realized that then. So that pimp stuff that he said made sense later. First, you got to look at how I was doing hair. You saw my work, so you know I was talented as I don't know what. Second, we made over $40,000 in one night off of one hair show, and that was all mine. Third, he saw I was a money maker, and that's what Hollywood was about. They was about different. They was about unique. I had all those things into one. I was unique. I was different. I was nice looking. I was country. It's something different about us Southern folks that they love about us. So he saw that money making thing about me. He said I had that it factor, whatever the fuck the it factor was. But he didn't know that the it factor, I was real about who I am. So we get out here to California. And I don't know how this came about, but he went on. Now I'm married to dude. He wanted to go on a show called Who Wants to Date a Celebrity? He filmed it. He did everything. And then they found out that he had a wife. He had to go down to the courthouse and put papers like me and him was going to get divorced, or they weren't going to pay him and let him do the show. So he wanted me to go on with it and act like I didn't care. But that pissed me off. And then I just look at him differently, because now I'm saying that you'll just do anything for money. Because if you got a wife, why would you go do that? And it was no connection. And it's called Who Wants to Date a Celebrity? You probably could find the video on. So I'm just saying. And he never served me the divorce papers. See, that was another thing. He never served me anything, but because he wanted to go do this show, that's why he did that. And then he got the money and then let everything else go.
Okay, so you two were still married when he passed away. Okay, so were you two living together when he passed away? How did you find out that he passed away? What exactly happened? Because I know that he passed away on your birthday, right? Okay, so go ahead.
One day before my birthday, the 21st. Okay, so we had got into a confrontation because Fred did his thing, I did mine. He wanted me to travel with him because he had came because some more deals. I had children. I couldn't pick my shit up and be a single mom. He wanted me to send my son off to Maryland. Dude, I didn't leave my son in Maryland. So we got into a conversation about that. So he started traveling for a minute. I stayed in my position. We kind of separated to a degree. He went on about it, but we stayed married. At any time he could have served me, it was what it was. 3 days before he came to California, because he was out of town, he called me and he apologized for hurting me, for disrespecting me. But he said that he had never dealt with anybody like me. And he just got nervous because of everything that transpired. So I was like, okay, whatever. I said, I tell you what, when you get to town, we'll talk about it. That was on October the 18th, maybe the 19th. October the 21st. I was at home getting ready for him to come in. I was supposed to be the one to pick him up at the airport, but he had came in early and I didn't know it. So when he had called me, he was already in California. So I'm getting ready to do whatever. And all of a sudden, breaking news came on. And it said he had passed away. I said, what? I found out he died on TV, like everybody else. When I saw it on TV, I thought it was a joke. I mean, I thought, like, is this cat playing with me just see how I'm going to react? It wasn't a joke. I called his friend. I wanted to find out what happened. Come to find out, Fred came back in early. He went to a friend's house. Everything that went on with his death, I didn't find out anything till 2013 because there was so much going on. People were coming at me from everywhere, wanting me to sign deals, do that. I just couldn't do it. I had never experienced nothing like this before in my life. And then to know that in an instance, I was a widow of a celebrity, and here I am, a country girl from Georgia. What the hell was I supposed to do? I was married him in 99. That was only 3 years difference. And here I am with all this big plate of stuff on my lap and married to one of the most famous men in the 1970s. What was I supposed to do? So after I found out, so many things went on. They took Fred's body somewhere because for whatever reason, people, I guess they felt like I didn't have a right or I wasn't married to him. It don't matter what we went through. I was his fucking widow. I married him. I got my papers to prove that. Whatever. The kids and one of his friends, they had started doing the funeral. So now I know Fred passed away, and I'm sitting up here about 3 days into him passed away. I'm just like devastated. I'm still crying. I'm still thinking about the last words he said to me. I'm looking at him on TV. I didn't know what to think. And then like 4 or 5 days, 3 days, baby, 4 to pass, and I ain't heard shit. So I called a girl from mine who's a paralegal. I couldn't think. Come to find out, they had Fred's body somewhere way past somewhere. I was in Inglewood at the time. When they called, I said, hello, this is Fred Berry's widow wife. They said, widow wife? No one told us that. Is that right? So by that time, everything changed. Everything changed. They found out I was a widow. I had to prove that. I had his body in a church called Simpson Mortuary. It was in Inglewood, California. It was a preacher there who knew Fred. They knew that Fred had been there before. He had shown me pictures, told me things, and I believe this guy. People were coming in to view his body after I got him to Inglewood. If it had been left to me, I would have buried him in Inglewood. I wouldn't have buried him where he is now. They had ordered like limousines. Some people didn't even ride in the limousines. They was angry. It was just so much chaos. Like, because when a person dies, everybody want to know what they're gonna get, who in charge, what's going on, and then you talking to me crazy. And then see, I had to come out the box on certain people. So they had seen other sides of me and certain people that came in Fred's circle, celebrities. Even I had never seen some of these people before, so it was all new to me. And after they shipped his body to Simpson Mortuary, everybody had visited him. I just let everybody did their thing. And I went in there by myself and I just sat. And I just don't know, like even with his death, he didn't look right. He didn't look right. His neck was swollen. And I kept saying that. And after I got him buried and we had put him in the ground, maybe 3 days after that, 4 days after that, I got a phone call from a female in the house that they found Fred at, deceased. She called and told me that they were doing heavy drugs. That's what I was told. And Fred slipped and hit his head. And they put him back in a bed dead. And because he was staying at a friend's house. And that girl said that he slipped and hit his head. They were doing drugs, and they put Fred back in the bed dead. I kind of believe that. Because on his autopsies in 2013, after those years later, I seen ligature marks around his legs and this, like somebody could have done that, but I always thought about his neck. I thought the girl was playing, or I thought it was one of his ex-girlfriend. I didn't know, ex-wife. I don't know why would somebody call and tell me that. So winding up forward, 2013, we getting ready to do the reality show. Something came up with Fred's daughter, Portia. So I asked for the autopsy. When I get the autopsy, it didn't make sense. None of it made sense. Okay, so let me just go. The dude was saying, Fred was at the house with the dude. The dude said he fed Fred the day before. So Fred ate the day before. That was on the 19th to 20th. He didn't see Fred no more. He said Fred went in the wrong room to go to sleep. Mind you, he had called me and told me he's coming to town. He was already in town, but he was at this guy's house. Okay. So he at the guy's house. They done ate and everything. I done seen this on TV. But then the police report in the autopsy, it said that the dude that was in the house knocked on the door where Fred was sleeping, didn't get no answer, got scared. How the hell are you scared in your own house? But okay, we're going to play this. And then called Fred's best friend, which lived almost 35 to 45 minutes away. You ain't going to call the ambulance. You ain't going to call the police. But you going to call his best friend. So then his best friend get to the house where Fred died at. And they get in the car. This all in the autopsy. I'm finding this out of 2013. It's 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 10 years later I'm finding this out. Because it was just so much going on through the years. They get in the car. They go get the fire station to come back and pronounce Fred dead. That don't make no sense to me. I said, why y'all ain't call the police? They said that the police 911 wasn't working. I checked all that shit out. That was a lie later on. But Portia, his daughter, they called Portia. They called Portia on the 21st at 4 o'clock in the morning, which would have been 4 o'clock California time, but 7 o'clock Georgia. 21st. They didn't pronounce Fred's body dead till that night on the 21st at 9 o'clock p.m. Fuck was y'all doing his body all that time? What was it? What happened? How did this happen? It made me believe everything. And in the police report, in the autopsy, that said in that autopsy, a woman called the police station, just like I'm talking to y'all. Hello, I want to tell you that Mr. Berry was taking drugs and someone, he fell and hit his head and they put him back in the bed dead. That was in the police report. So that means black folks ain't gonna just call the police for no reason. So that woman exists to this day. That's why I said something else happened. That's why I said it was something shady. And there was a $20 million cover up in between that. All that was going to be exposed on that reality show in 2013. I never got to that. That was the only way that I was going to bring everybody out the closet. I had did my whole thorough investigation, but then when I saw this and I started pulling the paperwork from back when I found out about the cover up, everything started making sense. But if you go back and look at the police report, Los Angeles should be up on investigation. The whole damn police report, how they came and got him. What was y'all doing with his body for 24 hours? Why did you call Portia for? See, now I'm putting all this out here now. So now y'all know the fuck I know. Because I had never told nobody that I did all the research to know this. So now I know that you did something shiesty because of the simple fact, the police report, the lady called me. You called Portia at 4 o'clock. They found out Fred was dead at 9. Well, that's when I saw it on TV that he was passed away and deceased 9 o'clock that night, but she had called Portia that morning. So I'm saying that 4 o'clock that morning, 21st, to 9 o'clock that night, what was his friend doing? What was Skip doing? What was the brother doing? What was the son doing with his body? But y'all went through a lot of the shit. I know that. They went through a lot of this paperwork and stuff. So there's a lot of other stuff. But also, when they did the police report, people saw articles where Essie said she wanted to dig up Rerun. Yeah, I said that. Why? Because we were getting ready to do a reality show. I could go get some homies and come back and let them dig up his body. Because now what I know for sure is that the person who did the autopsy, you didn't do a credible autopsy because Fred took insulin. They said there was no medication in his system. How is that? And he had high blood pressure and he had insulin. And you're going to tell me when nothing in his system? Red flag.
And then let me bring this up too, because when you look at articles that came out at that time, like this is an article dated October 22nd, 2003, that said Berry died Tuesday at his home in Los Angeles, apparently of natural causes. Police officer Jason Lee said the county coroner was investigating, but friends said Berry had been ill because of a recent stroke. So what do you have to say about this stroke?
In June, but we were still separated. But he went out of town when somebody told him not to. So I'm still saying you should chill out. He go out of town. Me and him kind of separated at that time, but I did find out later about it. But he don't listen. So even though he went in and he had the stroke, he had to go to some kind of function. They were paying him for it, whatever. And he didn't stay in the hospital. And he just left when the doctor told him to stay and just got out. You know what I'm saying? He was on a crutch and a walker. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, Fred was going to do what he had to do. And I still just couldn't pick up and leave. But at that time, I didn't know. By the time I did, he had already left the hospital. So he was sickly. He was sickly for a good bit as well. Some people say he died of heart complications. That's what you say. Okay. But if I was going to pull his body back up and I look what's on that autopsy, I would maybe like challenge that because of how the autopsy did, how it didn't make sense. It got to make sense when somebody died. It didn't make sense. And then come to find out, there was some bank accounts later on that I found about, and there was probably $20 million. It ain't what I say. BB&T Bank is what I can prove. And I talked to this lady. Her name was Jackie Peevely. So I'm going through all Fred paperwork because I done got the suitcases with a lot of his documents from this house, and it was a car there. So I called this lady trying to find out, you know, still working, trying to find out about his business. And girlfriends say, who are you? I said, I'm Fred's widow. I said, I just need certain paperwork. Can you help me? Before I even could get it out of my mouth good, she said, you know what? You're not going to say shit. You're not going to see shit. There was a lot of money in his bank accounts, and now he's dead. And everybody's asking me about the bank accounts. I had a heart attack over his bank accounts. Really? That's when all shit changed, and I flew to Maryland. And I flew to Maryland in 2005 because after she told me that and I asked for the records, they took a whole year and I couldn't get the records. By the time I get to the bank, I'm walking up, supposed to speak to her supervisor, this lady from the bank where the $20 million was at. Her name was Kim Ray. I get to the bank and ask for Kim Ray. They said Kim Ray ain't here. I said, well, I done came away from Georgia, no California, so I'll wait for Kim Ray to get here. They saw I wasn't going anywhere. Next thing I see, a white boy walk around the corner, short, bald-looking dude. His name was Kim Ray. He was the vice president of the bank. I told him about what I found out, and then he told me the paperwork I would have to get. He said it'll take you 7 days. I said, that ain't what God said. I'm going to get the paperwork tomorrow, and I'll be back. By the time I got to the bank to confront about anything else, he had quit the bank. The vice president did. So that was another cover-up. And there was and I got, like, I have a time, I sent you that timeline And I researched everything and did the investigation myself. But when all this shit came up with Steve Harvey, the reality show, what I'm telling you about now, this is what my show was going to be about, because I was going to find out what really happened, and I was going to put it all on blast and do it up. You see what I'm saying? That way nobody couldn't cover nothing up, because they weren't used to direct people like me. And it was one lady who covered a lot of the stuff, because how they started, it was with a nonprofit organization that had been forfeited. They revised the nonprofit organization, run the $20 million through there. Fred went on a show called Weakest Link. He needed an organization to put his money in. A lot of times when you see these celebrities with these nonprofit organizations, the profit is going to them. Some of it may go to the company. Only what, 25%? The other 75% go to the person who opens or owns the nonprofit organization. And that's how they was able to funnel the money through. I got the 990s and all that. If anybody was to challenge this video, then they would have a problem, because BB&T, Jackie Peavy, Kim Ray, all of them should be up under investigation right now. So while I was sitting over here having a merry day being accused of being a co-conspirator and extortionist, this is what pissed me off, because they had already did this to my husband, and not adding to insults to injury, some broad telling me that my husband was killed and they put him back in the bed dead because he slipped and hit his head. Why didn't you call the ambulance? So wouldn't that upset you too? Because now individual, because now I can't even do this to find out what happened with my husband, because I had tried to do the show and I got all this other stuff. So it was like everything that went on with my husband's death, everything I found out, it was just washed away.
Yep, it totally makes sense. Okay, so what is this document right here? Because this is a document that I was going to put up. What is this document right here? Can you explain to us what this is? Wait a minute. I got
read that damn letter. That's where the cover-up started. Now, if you're not gonna, if this is not true and this is not factual, why would you take enough time to alter a letter of this magnitude if there was no cover-up, if there was no money? Can you read that letter, Geneva?
It's okay. Let me read it. I got it in front of me, and it says, to the best of my what I can see, it says M2G Funding Group has a source of funding available to your company for any loss amount in excess of $5 million. The rate as of today, June 6th, is 2.8%. Mind you, this is dated for June 6, 2003. So at this time, Fred Berry is still alive. It says, to start the process, we at M2G Funding Group needs a letter of interest from your bank. The process takes 3 to 4 weeks for funding. Please see the sample letter below. And since it says, since the letter from the bank is received and the consultant fee is signed, it will be something into underwriting and the lender will contact you already. But yeah, it's definitely marked out. It's scratched out and everything else. I don't know what is the whole scratch out thing about. Do y'all see this letter? Can y'all wait a minute. Let me try to put this. Wait, where the hell is Essie at? Okay. Where'd she go? I'm too busy reading the letter. I didn't even know she had left. Okay, I'm gonna put her mic back on.
Okay, so that letter that you see was the beginning of the cover-up for BB&T Bank. That person, Jackie, her last name is Peavy. There was supposed to be $5 million of Fred money in an account. There was 8 accounts in one bank, but different locations. I don't know too many people, unless you are a millionaire, that you got fucking 8 bank accounts in one. Me and Portia called one day on the phone. We heard the BB&T representatives got the recording of the tape say that poor lady, they robbed her husband bank accounts, not knowing that they took supposed to be $5 million against his receivables to put that $20 million letter up there that you got. That's the next letter to that one. So they did this to write the letter out, Then that second letter that you finna show, Geneva, if you got it, where it shows the $20 million went in. Being real, I really felt like that's why Fred had a heart attack. Think about the time he had the heart attack in June. He got happy because he knew that damn money had went through. I'm just saying. You there?
Look, that's why I said y'all got to give me a minute. I'm back here pressing like 2 million buttons. Like y'all don't even see it. I'm over here click, click, click. And then me and Essie had a conversation before here. I'm trying to figure out what documents to put up. And then Essie says, yeah, that document that Geneva about to put up. I'm like, shit, I ain't even got the document. So now I'm trying to go to my email, get the document. But I know she's saying something, but I can't hear her right now, right? She's saying something, but I'm just trying to take the document and send it to myself. Okay, I just sent it to myself. Okay, now what?
I'm sorry about that, Geneva. I just know when you showed that letter, that was the dummy letter to that $20 million cover up. It should have been that letter. Then you're going to read that next letter that says the $20 million went through his cover up if you want to, if you got it. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, well, I know y'all couldn't hear me because I'm talking to myself while I'm over here looking up trying to pull this document. So go ahead and say whatever you want to say, Essie, while I pull up this document about the cover up.
Okay, so you guys are not gonna understand this right now because that had been almost a 9-year investigation before I had got to where I was in 2013 when we were getting ready to shoot the reality show. A lot of what you're finding out right now is for the first time ever have even been told, even including about Fred's death. There will be other, we're gonna do our own little thing. We'll talk about it later, but you will be able to see the autopsy for yourself. You'll be able to see the paperwork for yourself. I can even show you the bank accounts. I can show you the whole procedure. But I knew when that woman said, not that one, is another one. I knew when that woman said that, who the fuck did I think I am? I wasn't gonna see shit. There was a lot of money. There should be no bank teller that was talking to me of that magnitude like that. And that was a problem to me. And a little bit after that, Fred has 2 brothers and a sister, I think. One of his brothers was attached to that account and went up in that bank trying to get the money out, and he had a heart attack. They say his brother had one. I think his youngest brother, Ricky, died maybe like a couple of months after Fred died because they were very close. And at this time, even if you guys were to see it, whether Geneva found it or not, I don't like to say something if I can't prove it. So there's a letter to show that as well. That's why I said, like, did somebody knock him off? Why did y'all have his body that long? Where was his body from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock that night? Why did you feel like you had to get in a car with his best friend and go get that one? That's the one. Read that, Geneva. Can't hear you.
Yeah, I know y'all couldn't hear me. I was still trying to do this document. Oh my God. Interviews is just like, oh, I gotta pull documents, move stuff to the side, and could be a lot of work over here. Okay, now let me read this document. It says, dated June 25th, 2003 to Dana Smith. This is Hefman Insurance Agency. It says, at the request of Suitland Fest RSPA, we are pleased to inform you that the company has been a most valued customer of our bank since 1999. The Sweetland Fest RSPA has conducted their affairs with us in a very satisfactory manner. At a personal level, we feel Fred Berry is of good moral character and that he would comply dutifully with any financial obligation incurred with your institution. Suitland Agency has requested our office issue a direct payment letter of credit against his receivables of $20 million United States dollars. Wait a minute, let me reread that again. Suitland agency has requested our office issue a direct payment / letter of credit against his receivables of 20 million United States dollars. This letter is to inform you that the bank will underwrite the direct payment letter of credit subsequent to further due diligence and underwriting of the project and the principals. Please do not hesitate to contact us if we can be of further assistance. I can be reached at the blah 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 blah. Now let's see what Miss Berry have to say about what the hell? What is this? Okay, now we see why she investigating and want to dig up bodies. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what.
I rest my case. So why did you think that I dragged this dude for all these years? He want to play a damn game. I had my reality show. This shit was going to come out on the show. Y'all heard it for yourself. I didn't have nothing but time. I was going to take the bank down to everybody. Until that shit happened in 2013, it was going to be a wrap, Geneva. So now, if you guys want to, go Google my husband's net worth and see what it's really about. See what it's really worth. I'm just saying. And it still, and that's why that girl told me I wasn't going to see shit. That's why she said it was a lot of money. That's why she said she had a heart attack over the bank account. How you going to have a heart attack over somebody else's husband's bank account? Now you see. So what was it? Why did this happen? Nothing. If you read the autopsy, which we'll get into that later, because we're going to do a document about it, but you will see that it's nothing makes sense in it. It looks like a straight cover up. And BB&T Bank, I would never trust BB&T Bank, not for the rest of my life. Y'all can go get the damn person, Mr. BB&T himself. Tell him to give him this video, because I will come for him too, because they are liars. They did this. They covered it up. And then when he died, they funneled his money through a nonprofit organization. You heard it for yourself. Suitland Fest Community Development Corporation was a non-forfeited company in 1997. They turned around and redid the company and brought it back up to standards in 2001 when Fred Rerun went on Weakest Link. So RSPA was called Rerun School of Performing Arts. That's what RSPA was for. And he was actually Suitland Fest. When you get a company, you have to ask for an EIN number for any company. So I knew someone who worked. After he died, I wanted to see who initially registered for that Suitland Fest RSPSA company and who asked for that EIN number. It was done in my husband's name. So the bank turned around with this chick and other people, Kim Ray, the manager of the bank in Washington, because I flew to Washington. They snatched the damn money. And then did you knock them off? I don't really know. Because why did they hold his body so long? And if you pay the right person, your kinfolks will get you too. It had to make sense to me. And none of it made sense. And when I found out about it, I called this one council member out. She wanted to say, oh, Essie, that's not true. How about if I send you one of my FBI partners? Yeah, okay. So your FBI partner can what, do something to me? Because I know damn well that you're not going to help me because you are part of the cover up in the crime. Where the $20 million at?
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, where is the 20 million? So you said that the rerun, oh my, like I didn't even know that. Okay, now first of all, let me just say this right quick. I forgot I got mascara. See, that's why I do not like wearing makeup, because I forget I got it on. I start rubbing stuff. First of all, let me say this right quick. The Essie has hands down, one of the best memories that that I have of a person that I have ever met. Period, hands down. A lot of the things that she is telling you, I have heard tenfolds over, and she always says it the exact same way. She don't like in 2017, she said it was red, and then later on that year she changed it to blue. Then the next year it was rainbow colors. No, she didn't say the number was 23 in 2019, and then in 2020, 21, the number done changed to 200. No, if it was 23 then, it's 23 now. If it was 6 people then, it's 6 people now. So, I mean, the fact that she remember names, I'm telling you, people, like, this woman be remembering everything. So if she says she investigating stuff, she's looking into stuff, it really gotta be something to it. Because not only that, this woman got documents upon documents upon documents. I don't care what I say. She be like, let me go find it. And then next thing I know, I got email. Ding, 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 ding. She done sent about 10, 12. I'm like, what the hell do she got a file cabinet of life over there? Just everything she done collected in life, she got over there. So the fact that she still got documents from 2003, January 13, 2003, mind you, Fred Rerun Berry passed in October 2003. He was still alive. Essie Berry, so when she mentions these EIN numbers, she showed me the documents where it was like a whole bunch of EIN numbers. The people that because Essie is contacting Sony, she contacting banks, insurance. Like, the woman don't play games, and they are responding back. So it's not like she just frivolous, y'all know the word, out there writing and emailing and nobody is responding. Oh no, they respond back, and she has those documents too. So in this interview, we are not showing everything. Oh no, we're not doing that. Because the plan is to give you a little bit of the information, then for me to dig deeper, and then have Essie go in her file cabinet of life, and then supply me with all the other information and documents. Because one thing that Miss Essie Berry always says, and if you've seen her before, you know she says this, it's not what I say, it's what I can prove. And when she says that, you can bet your last dollar, like Don Cornelius says on Soul Train, that this woman got documents. Oh, she got receipts. Oh, she got the tea. Oh, she got the proof. Whatever you want to call it, she absolutely got it. So, girl, you said it was RSPA. So are they trying to say, because this says, because when you say that, I'm like, oh, okay. Because even though she done told me a lot of information, it's like so much that sometimes I forget something because it's just a lot of information. But so reading this, it says Suitland, RSPA, which she said is Fred Rerun's company, has requested our office issue a direct payment. So they're saying that his company in June 13, 2003, when they received this, his company had requested a direct payment of $20 million, which the bank is saying that they had a good relationship since 1999, so they don't have a problem with issuing the $20 million. And they said the letter informed you that the bank will underwrite the direct payment letter of the... So, where is that money? I'm just inquiring minds wonder. So I think that's what she's talking about when she say 20 million. Essie just like, so where the money at? So I know she started contacting people trying to figure out where the money at. So when you start, because I don't know if you already said it, but to get a better understanding. So when you started contacting people, asking them, okay, now where's this money at? They start saying what?
The one broad said, fuck me, who do I know, who I think I was, Jackie. I wasn't going to see shit. It was a lot of money in the account. She had a heart attack. So then I called a supervisor. Come to find out, Kim Ray was her supervisor, but that was some broad, one of her friends. Kim Ray was the vice president of BB&T Bank in Washington. So over the years now if we gonna play this, where's the 20 million? But over the years, my husband, if you go pull his network, it says $250 million. I was told that if you show that money exists somewhere. I know to this day, and do I get residuals? Yeah, but it's the point of this ain't got shit to do with residuals. This had to with them underwriting that money, and they took the money. And see, in 2013, why I did not get the money, Geneva, when I found out about everything, is because that's when we was going to reality show. I went to go find the cast. By the time I done found the cast, and when it got Mary asked, Steve asked had called me a co-conspirator and extortionist. Now, how the hell I'm going to come back up? Nobody knows my reputation. And I walk up and say somebody that took $20 million. And I found a woman. I found a bank teller who said they took the money. But by this time, Steve Harvey done called me a co-conspirator and extortionist. So what the hell the media going to do? When you pull my name up, what did you see? So now what happens? That's why I was pissed. That's why why I went after him, because this shit was not about him or was not about Mary. I, in some ways, think that they may have could took Fred's life or did something shady, but I know damn well you took the money. Y'all can go tell BB&T to call me. I'm saying that BB&T is one of the raggediest ass banks that it is, and they're crooked. Jackie Peevely, Kim Ray, and the other buckets that I got. This is the thing. The 8 bank accounts, they were all in Fred names. The 8 bank accounts. One of them had Sulin Fest. One of them had RSPA, which is Rerun School Performing Arts, RSPA. And all of them had different EIN numbers. How the fuck y'all got a company and you got 5 to 10 different EIN numbers on the bank accounts? I knew Fred bank account. I knew the one with Sulin Fest and RSPA. I got 5 other bank accounts with 5 other EIN numbers with 5 other socials with my husband's name on them. But y'all can't tell me where it's at. And hell yeah, I got all of them proven. And you know what was really messed up? When you go in there and you fill out the bank cards, there was 8 bank records, but you know how you sign the signature card when you open your bank account? At least 5 of those accounts didn't even have my husband's signature on them, but you said they was his accounts. It's like somebody went in there and signed his name to spread the accounts out. Each bank had a different account in it with a different EIN number.
Okay, so my question to you is, when you seen all of these extra EIN numbers, businesses, but you only technically knew about 2 of them, did you contact the manager and agent, you know, like his former manager and agent, to find out what did they have to say about these businesses? Like, did he have these on the side and maybe you just didn't know about them?
At that time, I didn't trust nobody in Hollywood because I see a lot of people lie. I like to be at face value. I did my own investigation. I contacted them. I didn't like some of her answers. See, one thing you got to realize, when y'all sign an agent will sign you the way for the rest of their life. If they sign a damn document in 2010, they think they still own you in 2020 and still be getting residuals and money off you. Me and his agent had kind of a conflict because they tried to, like, I don't know if they think Black people don't read or we don't research, but we do. I don't think you know that, but we do. We're not stupid. We have enough time to research it because so much has been taken away from us through history. That's why I believe that God allowed me to be Fred's widow. See, what people got to realize in life, Fred made his choice of his mates that he married and he divorced, right? He had how many ever? 6, and he married and divorced them. I didn't have to worry about him doing that with me. God did it. Look at the dates. God knew that I would be the one to carry his legacy, to find out about all this corruption, to find out what happened to him, and then to tell his story. Who do you know is going to have paperwork from 1987? I have paperwork that Fred saved from himself from 1976 to 1987. He wrote his legacy. He wrote his story. He wrote his book before he even died because he loved himself. But I knew some of the other wives. I don't think they would have had the same compassion. I don't think they would have did the same thing. I'm going to say 2005, y'all. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was a little before then. I was asked to go to a studio in Hollywood to do a life story about Fred. This was right after he died. But this woman from, I think it was National Choir, she was the president, or she was a high person up in there. She said, Essie, don't give your husband's legacy away. Don't be in a rush to do anything. She said, just wait and sit. But I didn't know why she was telling me that. But I remembered those things she told me. It was on Melrose, wherever I went, y'all, because it's so long. Certain things, I could get there if I needed to. I get to Melrose. I go into this studio. There's a whole lot of agents, producers there. So they give me this paper. In this paper, it said they wanted me to sign over my husband's legacy for $20 million. So now I'm thinking, is this the same $20 million that's over here and somebody's trying to get you? So what was I supposed to do? So I get in there, but I'm still Rerun's widow, but Fred got 3 kids, 2 sons and a daughter. So I would not sign that and make that type of decision knowing that he has a daughter and sons. So I wasn't going to sign anything. And in back of my mind as a Black woman, if you offer me $20 million, then that means it's more. I can make that off his legacy, off his life story alone, a movie, a documentary, or whatever. So I'm not just going to sign his legacy away because you think that you can have a nice day. I saw a word on there. The word, whatever the word was, It meant to relinquish for the rest of your life. I called my friend, a guy named Clyde. I said, Clyde, what does this mean? He said, relinquish your rights for the rest of your life. I slid the contract back over to him. I told him to have a nice day, and I didn't trust shit what nobody else said after that. And then especially after I saw the police reports, the autopsy, I'm being called. Then I see that letter that Geneva just read. Then I'm reading stuff. Then this girl's telling me that I wasn't going to see shit. She had a heart attack. A white man walking from the back of the bank to the front. His name's supposed to be Kim Ray. He's supposed to be a female, but he the vice president of the bank. I done lived some shit that people don't even know. And they had to retain all this in my mind. Even when I was fighting the case with Mary, I still had to retain what had went on with my damn husband, knowing this had went on. But because this dude did this, I couldn't even fight for my own husband's legacy. That's what that was about.
So they were trying to play you, so they wanted you to sign over. Fred Rerun Berry, pop locking the lockers, Soul Train, what's happening, everything else he done did for $20 million, and they thought that you was gonna go for that. So that's how these meetings and stuff really be going. Like this whole story is just making sense. It's just coming together now. Just coming together. Oh wow. 20
now,
million.
Don't you know if I was money hungry, as everybody has portrayed me to be? Don't you know if I was crooked as everybody? I could have signed that shit, went behind closed doors, changed my whole history of who I am, where I live and everything, and could have been somewhere sitting up, shutting my mouth. It's never about the money with me. It's about the principle and the legacy. So even when I want people to know this, so now you've heard the story. So stop damn telling me it was about Mary. That's the real. That shit was never about Mary. I fought like I fought, y'all, because I told you what just happened to my son, my husband. I fought like I fought because I went up to Washington. They want to play me not knowing that I was a black woman who read. And still to this day, I'll take on anybody in BB&T. Bring your ass to the forefront because you know what happened. And that girl, Jackie Peevely, she wasn't even no match for me. You want to sit up there and cry behind the closed doors. The person that y'all saw me calling out people on videos, I didn't just do that shit with Steve or whoever. I did that with anybody who crossed me the wrong way because I couldn't get things done behind closed doors. That's why I took to YouTube, because I had my own platform. But what better way would it have been for me to do a reality show, and everything I'm telling y'all right now, I'll expose everybody, and it would be just what it was. I wasn't able to do that because I was accused of something that I didn't do. And I kept wondering in my mind, if this man's called me a co-conspirator, is he done called me an extortionist? How the hell am I going to go finish figuring out how they done took this $20 million? Because he had $5 million in the bank and they just walked away with my husband's shit. And then they turned around. I found out they were like giving raffles away. They took a city like Watts and they made it into a Beverly Hills building with some of that $20 million. A guy named Jack B. Johnson. I know you know me, Jack. Jack B. Johnson went to jail behind that because I had started turning up people. And when you turn up people to the FBI ain't going to tell you when you come get them. They going to go get them and then tell you later. Him and his wife went to jail because they were issuing property. And so say a property is $50,000, but they're going to put $500,000 worth of assessments. These were the accounts that was connected to Fred Berry. So you got a $50,000 property, but you're going to put $1 million assessments on that shit. Why you ain't just go buy $1 million mansion? So they were taking the money, trying to cover the money and building little cities up in Maryland, Suitland, Maryland, Washington. They even made up their own funding company. It looked like the funding company gave them the money when actually the money came through BPT off of Rerun's residuals. So forget what we're talking about now. That's the real deal. Since everybody want to damn tell my business, that I wouldn't even fight for that shit. I looked at how this bank covered up and lied and how they told me my husband died. And then I had to sit up here and live with this shit for 8 years up until today, knowing that all this happened. And I should have been fighting for my husband, his legacy, his family, and walked away from the rest of it. But unfortunately, because of Steve Harvey big mouth ass, I couldn't do that. I'm back calm now.
Well, that's why we need a Lifetime movie of Fred Rerun Berry. Don't we want to see this Lifetime movie? A lifetime. Yes, I know I do. They done did a New Editions, Bobby Brown, Aaliyah, Whitney Houston. Where's the one of Fred Rerun Berry? Essie said that he started the lockers or helped to start the lockers, and then some of them dancers, them pop locking dancers, Essie said that Fred Rerun Berry created. We love him on the show. We know that he was one of the main members on the show, and when he wasn't on there, he was missed. Like I noticed when Rerun was not on the episode. Like, where the hell Rerun at? We want to see people. We need to let them know that we need to see this Lifetime movie. And then another thing. So when we hear Miss Essie Berry saying all the time that she owns her husband's legacy. Now we see what she's talking about when she say she owns her husband's legacy. She was married to him when he passed away. You heard her say that yes, she do get residuals. She owns all of this. I think she ain't been wanting to deal with certain people because of all the nonsense that she done dealt with after he passed away. But this story, when she say that in 2013 she was just finding out this information about this cover up, the 20 million, all of this stuff. Then this one, she, she was working on a show, then came into counter with Mary Harvey, and then this whole Steve Harvey thing, and then that's where that kind of fell into place and why she was fighting so hard for that. Well, there was a few reasons why she was fighting hard for that, not only because of the co-conspirator and that part of it that she didn't like, but also because of the things that she had heard transpired over there with Steve Harvey, and by her already dealing with a celebrity, she already knew how the celebrity world was. So that's why we are going to do a part 2 and 3 with Miss Essie Berry. We will be doing a part 2 and 3 with Miss Essie Berry. And we're not skipping any days. We're not going to do the next one on Monday. Part 2 is coming tomorrow. And part 2, we will be talking about the whole Steve Harvey and Mary situation, everything that transpired with them, why she got into it, and things that maybe y'all haven't even heard of before. I'm going to ask her about just so she can get it out and we can talk about it. If y'all got any questions, ask the dang on questions. So, like, you know what I mean, already with the Steve Harvey Mary situation. And then part 3 on Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel, we will be coming back with Essie Berry's current husband. We will be coming back with Miss Essie Berry current husband because remember, she's been married 4 times. We done already talked about 3 husbands. Here go the other one right here. Her former bodyguard. Matter of fact, he is currently her bodyguard, former husband. They just divorced in 2019, but they still together. Yeah, whatever. But they ain't together, but whatever. They're still the best of friends, and I actually love Fred. I think that he's a cool guy. So we are going to have Fred Payne, Essie Berry's bodyguard that has been with her since after her divorce. Since after the passing of Fred Rerun Berry. So he's another Fred. After Fred Rerun Berry, so he's been with her through all of that. And he's totally been with her through the whole Steve Harvey and Mary thing. So I totally want to hear how he feels having to deal with her behind the scenes, because the time she was driving me crazy. So I can just imagine how Fred was feeling. So we're going to have Fred in here. We're going to talk to him and get whatever he needs to say about Miss Berry. So yeah, girl. So what you guys say?
Hey, I'm excited. I'm an open book. I love that Geneva did this. That way you guys will know. I gave you enough information, but it will be in a book. And we also got other things going on behind closed doors that has to do with Fred that I'm very excited about. We want to put a little bit out there because I don't need anybody telling my truth or anybody else's truth. I can tell my own truth. Oh, look at Mary. I think that was in 2017. I also saw a comment where someone said that Ernest told a whole nother story. Well, Ernest would tell a whole nother story because he cowered out when they went to the meeting. Me and him ain't never kind of side eye to eye because he did some shady shit with Unsung. So please don't bring Ernie my way. We can talk we want to, but I ain't trying to blow this internet up behind him. I'm trying to stay kosher because there are things that I know about everybody behind closed doors that I ain't even brought out yet. Whether who it is, and it may not, could not, but if Fred told me, then I will express it. It'll be your choice to prove whether it's a lie or the truth. So someone said that Ernest said it was a whole different story, saying that Fred wanted to be the star. Get the fuck about. He was the star. What did y'all see that I didn't see? I'll wait. And then in The second time around, when they went to What's Happening Now, they said he was the biggest star in that show and he should get more money. That's what was said. So whatever it is right now is whatever it is. They should have still remained friends. That's what happened. People get big heads around here. Everybody think they're more than the other. I never even did that when I was married. I still stayed to myself. Go, Geneva.
It will be here tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. And y'all should know that because y'all are old school. You know that came from Batman and Robin. So that means tomorrow, Saturday at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, which is 5 o'clock p.m. Essie time over there on the West Coast. And here on Geneva's Closet, come back for part 2. Essie Berry, we're going to be asking her questions about the whole Steve Harvey, Mary thing, whatever she want to say. Y'all got questions asked. Then on Sunday, this Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, my time, 5 o'clock p.m. Essie time over in the West Coast. Here on Geneva's Closet, we will have Fred Payne, Essie Berry's bodyguard / ex-husband here to hear from him because he has also dealt with the whole trolling situation because we're going to ask Essie about that too. All of this trolling. She talking about people trolling and blah, blah, blah. We're going to ask her about that. And we're going to ask Fred about that. You know, and there's some things we're going to ask Essie about siblings because Essie has family, Fred, her ex-husband bodyguard, that Fred Payne, has family members that has got in cahoots with the whole trolling thing. Can you believe that? Can you believe what people will do? And we talking about grown people here. We ain't talking about no 17, 18, 25, not even 30-something. We talking about grown people sitting up here trolling and stuff and whatever. I'm just telling you, be here tomorrow to check out part 2. Be here on Sunday to check out part 3. Again, let me say this too while I'm on here talking. Let me say this too. Make sure you go check out, let me throw myself up here, Girl Gift Tees. Girl Gift Tees t-shirt. Girl Gift Tees t-shirt. We are celebrating Black-owned entrepreneurs. She sent me the shirts. 100% chance that I don't care because that's how I be feeling majority of the time. I done stuck the link in here a few times. After this video is done, I'm going to stick the link in there. Make sure you go and support her. She said all of her shirts are basically $20 and under. 5 days. She's shipping the stuff out. She do custom made shirts to your graduation, reunion, whatever, with baby shower or whatever. She can custom make them, or she just got really nice because she didn't custom make this. This is what she does. And her name is Tighe, Tighe. And again, support Black-owned businesses, Girl Gift Tees. And it fits good. And let me say this. I have purchased shirts from Girl Gift Tees, and Tighe, the owner, has gave me shirts. And those shirts that I have both purchased and she gave me, I still have to this day. The collar ain't all hanging, shirt stretched out, color is still on the shirt. Love them. Fit me well. She have them in guy sizes, you know, because some girls like boy tees or girl tees. She have them both ways. But I highly recommend her. I highly recommend Girl Gift Tees, so you should totally go and check her out. And if you purchase anything from her, tell her that I sent you, and let me know how you feel about the products, because any Black-owned entrepreneur that I promote here in Geneva's Closet and you actually do use their service, I would like to know about it, because if it's a service or something, a product or something that you did not like, then I want to know so I can contact the entrepreneur and say, the people didn't like it, and then so I know that maybe I don't want to advertise them and stuff anymore. You know, I just don't want to be bringing anybody, just any old body up in here for you all. So please, if you use anybody's services or purchase anything from them, please let me know. And another entrepreneur that I want to give a shout out to is I just did an interview with them, Dr. Chanel Phillips. She is the owner of FTE Holistic Health. She is a life strategist, community psychologist, a yoga instructor, and doula. She gave me really good information. You should totally go check her out. Her website is FTE/essentials.net. FTE/essentials.net. But I'll also put her information down there too. And the other entrepreneur is Rena's Creative Travel. She's a travel agent. Look, look, it's travel time. I just came back from Vegas. I did a whole week. Look, I needed a break. And y'all may need a break too. And you might not know where to go, where to purchase plane tickets, whatever. You can contact Rena's Creative Travel, or you can email her at Rena's Creations with an S and Things, THANGZ @gmail.com. Rena, RINA, Creations, CREATIONS, and AND Things, THANGZ @gmail.com. Now let me bring Miss Berry back on. Girl, this was a good interview. Do we have any questions? Miss Berry, Queen Taylor Christina, won't you sing something? I don't know what you done sung. They want you to sing. Girl, look, I don't know. What you gonna do, Ma? What?
Why you gonna put me on the spot like that? I was getting ready to answer a few of these questions right quick, if y'all don't mind. Can I do that first? Then I'll put some, at the end. So, because I don't want y'all to think that Geneva don't pay attention. And while y'all ask these damn questions, Geneva gonna be on the spot too. Yeah, do it, Geneva. Yes. I like that she jamming up. Okay, listen. I like that dance in the background, girl. Give us a play while we back here doing this jazz. Yes, baby. Okay, some of these questions, y'all, I said I'm an open book, but y'all pushing it. So, what man race would you date? Someone asked, besides black men, what race would I date? I don't know, because I ain't dated out my race. I've never dated before. I've always been married. So even to start dating, I'm gonna start dating, maybe, but I've never dated out my race. I just told y'all that the first time I was married, I told you 15, so we got that one. I made a statement one day on a video. People ask me why I don't slow dance with men. I would slow dance with a man, but I would have to know that man in a club or something. I can't just be in a club and slow dance with a dude, because it make me seem like you sleeping on the floor. You're screwing on the floor. I don't need a nigga rubbing his body up all on me and stuff like that getting turned on. So I'm not even going to do that. That's why I've never slow danced in a club. And I'm tired of this, and I ain't going to say it no more. If y'all ass don't remember this question, I'm not going to say it no more, because I'm offended because you keep asking me. Somebody want to know my height. I need to know why you want to know. That's what I need to know. But if you just got to know, do I need to show my ID? I'm 4'9". There it is. Don't ask me no more, because anybody else asks me, I'm going to say 5'1", 5'2", 5'3". Period. I'm 2 feet from being a dwarf. Okay? Live with it. What was the next one? If it was a celebrity, who would I date? No one. That part. They say, if you had a choice, Essie, to date a celebrity, who would you date? I ain't gonna lie, I'm not celebrity stricken, because he got to come with some suave, just like I come with some suave. Because he a celebrity don't mean he got what I need. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't know. What was the next one? It was in this phone. Let me answer. I think we answered it. Someone asked me, what would I buy? Give them 3 things that I would buy if I went shopping. What I really like, so I'm gonna keep it real. Perfume, lingerie. It ain't really say materialistic wise. Lingerie. No, I don't know. Comfortable clothes, but them 2 for sure. I love perfume and I love lingerie. I'm a big fanatic in that. When I dress, I dress. Someone else asked why I don't wear makeup, because I don't want to. If you don't see any of my pictures, you can see me with makeup. I look made up. I don't really like to look made up because I have moles on my face. You can't cover makeup with them moles, but it's okay either way. But I just don't do it. But when y'all see me made up, y'all gonna know Essie Berry made up from head to toe. I like to be simple other than that. Now, I know a dude wrote this and asked me this. I don't really know why. I may turn you on. They want to know, how do I walk around the house? Whichever way I want to. How about that? If I want clothes, I have clothes. If I want lingerie, I have. If I want to walk around naked, I'll walk around naked. How about that? So those were a few of the questions. And would I date out my race? At this point in my life, I might would, because I've never done it. But I'm just saying, we're going to talk more about that as well. But those are just a few of the questions. And I took one more. I'm going to take this one more because I've made a picture of it. I made a picture of it so I can read it. Shaquita say, do you stay in touch with Fred children? Where did you meet your first husband? Where were you born? I think I answered that. I was born in Georgia, between Columbus, Georgia, and somewhat in Detroit. Chicago is my son's family members' home, but they are all my family. So I go up there. My first visit to Chicago was in 2019 when I saw Geneva. I don't keep in touch with Fred children because I got to deal with the mamas if I do that. But I do keep it with his daughter, Portia. And where I met my first husband, I met him in a project called Elizabeth Candy in Columbus, Georgia, where we used to roll and kick it. So y'all got more questions, put them down. We'll do it at the end of the next video. I really enjoyed this video. I hope you guys got some completion on some things I said. It's a lot of stuff that's going to be in the book, you guys, because it's too much for me to explain to you because of the things I've already transpired and the things I went through in the last 4 years. So it was a lot. So I'm really right now just getting back to myself as well. And someone else asked me about changing my hair. I think you know why I changed my hair now, because Geneva asked you about me being a master cosmetologist. And my hair now is locked. Geneva, I got jealous. I ain't gonna lie. Geneva had been wearing her little locks on to show. She all in base about my hair and the wear blowing through my hair in Vegas, baby. I ain't gonna put on the wig. I just can feel. I got jealous. I was like, let me see how this thing go, and I love it. And I'm not finished with it, but I'm locking it. So this will be my hairdo. I'll change if I want to put something on, but I ain't gonna lie. You always got to try something new. I'm 50 years old. I don't want to keep doing hair. When I seen Geneva, she made me want to lock mine too. So this is my work and this is my lock, and I'm still doing a little bit more, but I'm going natural on you, Geneva. And God bless you guys too for everybody who joined us.
Come on through, La Crew. Y'all better come on through. Because look, now let me say this. Yes, I got the pony. Because when I knew I was going to Vegas, I was like, well, let me just buy some hair for just in case we go out somewhere. So I bought 2 hairs. I bought this one and I bought another one. But to be perfectly honest with you, I only put this hair on, I think once, and I only put the other one on once. And I was wearing my own hair because ain't nothing like, won't he do it? Matter of fact, when we come on tomorrow, I'll just wear my own hair because ain't nothing like just being natural. Let me just say this because I know that this interview was all about Essie, but let me just kind of end it with this. Because ladies, all the time, we got to be worried about these lace fronts, French braiding your hair, them sewing stuff and gluing stuff, and even them braids. I mean, that tugging at your hair and stuff, and your head hurting for 2 and 3 days with them heavy weave all on your head. Sometimes we get tired of it, and I had got tired of it. I had tried the weaves. I'm not even good with lace fronts. I struggle with the baby hairs and stuff, just struggling all over the place. I done tried the braids. I'm tender-headed. My hair hurted. Y'all know I even tried the scarves. I was tying them too tight. It was snatching out my edges and stuff because I was wearing the scarves too much. So then I been said I was only going to do natural. Ben stopped putting a perm in my hair, but then I swim all the time. So then I just couldn't figure out what to do with my hair, and it's just a lot. So then when I finally realized that I needed to try the locks out and got the locks, it was the best thing I had ever did, because all I had ever did for years was daydream on how it would feel to have the air and the wind blow on my scalp, not the weave, not with the braids, but to feel my own hair blow in the wind. So let me tell y'all something. I just have to throw this out there right quick. The other day, Because another dream I have also daydreamed is driving in my car, because I have a drop top car, and then the wind blowing in my hair. Now, when I was daydreaming about this, I didn't know how my hair would be. I was sitting up there like, so am I gonna have a weave in my hair and the wind gonna be blowing the weave? Is it gonna be some braids? Am I gonna put a wig on? Am I gonna have a natural? Am I gonna be and got my hair flat ironed or something that's blowing in the wind? So like, we just got summertime, just able to put the car down, put the top down on my car. The other day, like 2 weeks ago, I put the top down, driving in the car, and tell me why the wind blew and my hair blew too. I said, won't he do it, Jesus? Won't he do it, Lord? That was the thing that I have been envisioning for years. So I know for some of y'all, it may seem so simple, just so not like, really, Geneva, that's what it was. But for me, it is everything to finally be able to be myself. These are my natural nails too, just to let you know. Because you're probably like, the length, it got to be fake. It just has to be fake. No, these are all my real nails. I have real nails, real hair. Ain't nothing like it. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Another thing, so Essie hair looks beautiful. I love her hair. And when she popped on camera today, and I was like, girl, those them locks, it looked like a little curly, little do-mar. You better stop playing with them. Look at her. She better stop showing off and whatnot. But then again, she is a master cosmetologist. Not just a master. And I never understood why she said master until she started sending me them pictures. I'm talking about them hair shows. Then it all made sense. Another thing that I want to say is, again, if you would like to advertise your business in Geneva's Closet, you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. Come in here, advertise your business. And I want to tell you this also, people, because a lot of people here on YouTube, or when they do videos, period, and they get ready to come on, they do a timer thing of 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm not doing no timer. And the reason why I'm not doing the timer is because a lot of people do that for live videos, but the video is live once. It's on replay always. So I'm focused on the replay. So when the video pops on, we on and popping. So there is no 5 minute, 10 minute wait for y'all to get up in here. Make sure you put your notifications on. Make sure you remember that we will be back tomorrow and Sunday at 7 o'clock for part 2 and part 3 with Miss Essie Berry. So Miss Essie Berry, is there anything that you would like to say before we end this? And again, people, if y'all have any questions that we missed, email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com, or you can email Essie at civil rights activist Essie Berry. Is down there at the bottom at gmail.com. But Ms. Berry, anything else you would like to say, ma'am?
Thank you guys for joining us. It was a pleasure. Geneva, I want to thank you to really the fullest, because there's something about you that makes me open up and want to be able to express. For a long time, I didn't want to share my husband's story with nobody because it was more severe than people even thought. To go through the years that I went through and the burdens that I had to carry, knowing that I didn't fight for him like I fought for other people, and knowing this had happened to my husband, now it's time for me to get back focused on Essie and her life and things she's doing. And so many things are positive happening behind closed doors. It's just what it is. And I'm looking forward to these other 2 lives the next 2 nights. I'm really looking forward to the part 3 with my bodyguard, because I don't really know what he gonna say, how he gonna say it. But I can say with that is, me and him are very good friends. We will always be friends. I mean, he's like family to me. You guys will get to hear whatever he says, and I'll have to live with it. I am an open book, and I don't expect for someone to say things just to like make me feel something I'm not. I already know who I am, and I'm a hell and a force to be reckoned with at the same time. But I just truly thank Geneva so much, because she gave me back that sense of, Geneva gave me back a sense of comfort, to know me that I can really trust sisters, that I can look in a sister's face and know that if I talk to her behind closed doors or we do something, it's not going to change. To me, she's just not a YouTuber. She's just not a blogger, y'all. She's way more than that. Do you know how many years, if you just think about what I just said, that I carry what I've just told you about my husband? Y'all gonna hear some shit about Missy Elliott. It's so many things. Missy Elliott, I love you though, that I've went through in the past that people don't even know about. So now me, and with Geneva too, there's so many extraordinary things as a friend, an individual, entrepreneur, a person. Like I went through her videos today and I saw Geneva on the beach with her daughter doing that look. I said, is this girl breaking it down? I mean, I just love everything about her, because realness like that doesn't exist every day. And she made me, allow me to know that Essie, it is okay to trust. And she's very protective of me. And I thank her for that, because sometimes my heart is so big that I open doors, and some people that I should not have opened doors to. And if y'all seen people attacking me on the internet or talking about things, okay, but that's because of Geneva that I done shut my damn mouth. I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I had to listen. I had to pay attention. So it doesn't matter tomorrow, today, the next day, what somebody say about you. Know who you are. Know your worth. Know your value. Can't nobody tell your truth better than you. At first, I was upset and ready to attack everybody. No, she didn't make a video. I don't give a damn what you made. Because when you hear it out my mouth, you know it's the truth. When you hear it out somebody else's mouth besides Geneva, you know it ain't the truth. And that right there, 100% chance. You guys like, share, and subscribe. That sister, any black promote business that we can get, I'll get one shirt just to do that. When you open a door for one black entrepreneur, you open it for a lot. And we're gonna, after we get through with these interviews right here, and Geneva get to do what she's gonna do, we're gonna come back and we talk about things, because it was something I watched the other night. It was about the Black Wall Street. That shit was vicious to me, because there's so many times that people are trying to stop black people with opportunities. We stop ourselves with opportunities by coming against each other. We have to know the mentality now about coming against each other. Somebody put in the box, Essie, what this blogger, what's she talking about with you? Anybody who know Essie Berry on this internet know I could cut you down with my mouth and tear you to pieces and probably make you have a nervous breakdown. That was Essie 4 years ago. This is a new Essie now. Will I trigger every now and then? Maybe I will. But some people, you're not even worth my time. You're not even worthy or valuable enough to waste my time with my cute energy to say something about you. I don't look like this at 51 because I let people stress me and worry about what they talk about me. You heard my life. You heard my story. Now you know why I am so raw like I am. Now you know why I stand like I stand, because I had to stand for myself all my life, because all I had was me and God. And he sent me people like Geneva and other people around me to give me that strength. And let me let you subscribers know before I go. I may not have known you. I may not see your face. I may not even ever get to hear your voice, but I don't know if other people do it, or even people who's on these YouTube streets. But for every person that tune into Geneva and Essie, I thank you. For every person that listens to my word and I make one person stronger, I thank you. I will never get so big that I don't understand where I came from. That's why I'm still here today. I don't lose train of thought because I was married to celebrity, because I'm still who I am today. That will never change. And I want people to know that. But I want you to know, just as well as y'all feel or think like I'm a celebrity, I feel like every damn body that logs into this table, every time they open their mic, listen to me in Geneva, y'all my celebrities, y'all my strength. Y'all kept me strong, like we gonna keep y'all strong. This is what this is about. It's a journey now. From 2021 on, y'all, ain't no more looking back. Ain't no more lies being told. I don't have to worry about proving who I am. Y'all saw who I was in these last 4 years, and now you know. And I just want to thank you guys too, because you guys help us be able to communicate, and you allow us to know that we're touching your lives. And I really appreciate y'all for that. All y'all go jumping on all these other people pages. If they don't tell y'all, thank you for watching them. I thank everybody who clicked that damn link, like, subscribe, share. Every time y'all tune in, and I'd be happy. I'd be like, damn, is my sisters here? Because it's like a family now. A lot of these bloggers doing it, but they don't even know your damn names. They don't even call out your names. We'll let you know that. We need to let people know who you are and what you stand for. Because without subscribers, even fans, we wouldn't be who we are. So much gracious and love to all my subscriber, my celebrity subscribers. Thank you and much love.
Absolutely. We're about to get ready to go. That was just funny because Queen Taylor Christina is not funny. Queen, maybe we might get her to sing tomorrow. So this will be a thing to make sure that you come back.
I know you miss me. I know you miss me, but bye.
Okay, now, okay, well, see, you got a little bit of chug-a-lugging right there. You got a little bit of chug-a-lug. Come back tomorrow. You never know what may happen, Queen Taylor Christina. She may get it in for you tomorrow. But anyway, people, I thank you so much. Like Miss Berry said, we really appreciate you for you all for joining us today. We really thank the people in the comment section for communicating with us. We really do appreciate it. We hope that we were able to answer some of your questions. If not, again, email us, contact us. Be here tomorrow, Sunday. We'll see you later, people. We love talking to you.
Sit down at a restaurant and you tip. Then you go get some coffee, but you gotta tip again. Then, God forbid, you order some food because you gotta tip again. This whole tipping thing has gotten completely out of hand. What's even more crazy about it is that we're not doing anything to stop it. We're helping these billion-dollar businesses get richer. That's why I wrote the book, Why the Fuck Are We Tipping? Make sure you go check out my book coming out March 20th called Why the Fuck Are We Tipping? Because something needs to stop. I would like to know how you all feel about this situation, and while you are letting me know, could you please like and share this video and subscribe to Genevas Closet if you haven't already done so right here on YouTube. And you can follow me on Facebook at Genevas Closet, and you can email me at genevascloset22@gmail.com. You all have a fabulous day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.